say what I know. Some of my side blow, yeah, be more. I am saying blow, some of my side blow, so my lord, yeah, for some of you side blow, you don't need your mom, for some of you side blow, oh, yeah, money, yeah, the baby of council, baby Simona. You are somebody. Daddy, I'm somebody. Oh, say you were some flower. Was among my son flower, yeah, be more. I am some flower. Was among you, say flower, yeah, be more. But I be a daddy. Was among you, say flower, yeah, be more. Daddy, I'm lawyer. You are a name lawyer. Oh, say you were some flower. Some of you, say flower, yeah, be more. Des Belgiens. Il dit Solange de Toulon. Daddy, I need one. You are I need one. Daddy, I need one. You are I need one. Oh, the river time now. Was among my side flower, yeah, be more. The idea, was among your side flower, yeah, be more. Pretty, you are among you. Was among your side flower, yeah, be more. Yeah, was among your side flower, yeah, be more. Oh, wow. Do it. Et il dit ce qu'il a et moi. Là, il y a des gens. Je t'en dis. Sangla. C'est lui qui sangla. Faut se m'en faire sangla. Quel philomène qui a été. Faut se m'en faire sangla. Mon Dieu, à la mon mot. Faut se m'en faire sangla. Il y a des mots. Nyangoulé, Florentine de Paris. L'amour n'est pas forcé. L'amour c'est pas forcé. L'amour n'est pas forcé, chérie. L'amour c'est pas forcé. Oh, c'est libre, c'est un blau. Faut se m'en faire, c'est un blau. Yeah, dis moi. Son Gaston, là, oui. Adèle Kei. Ah, ou pas me faire souffrir. Faut pas me faire souffrir, bébé. Faut pas me faire souffrir, mon amour. Faut pas me faire souffrir. Oh, c'est libre, c'est un blau. Faut se m'en faire, c'est un blau. Yeah, dis moi. Sangla, c'est even sangla. For some more you say flower, yeah, be more. I can't say flower. For some more you say flower, yeah, be more. Let the feel the idea. For some more you say flower, yeah, be more. Nine for that one more. For some more you say flower, yeah, be more. Get it, my lady, for some more you say flower, yeah, be more. I never the idea. C'est vous, Batrabo, la seule Marie-Laure. Ah, Jackie Lolo, la vieille mère. Pour un dîner, ou un pouce, ouais. Mais il dit que tu as envie de mourir. Donc, nous, on a la biche. Ouais. La maman fait opportune au petit bateau. Loué, l'homme de Kélébier. Sangla, alors c'est mon frère Sangla, on dit à Balou et il a dit à Dégé. Posez moi you Sangla. Quel Simon a mangé. Alors c'est mon frère Sangla. Daddy, I'm somebody. You are somebody. Daddy, I'm named like you are named like oh, the river Sangla. Posez moi frère Sangla, on dit à Bimo. MDL Shepherd.
Okay, good evening, folks. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I'm Afonso Zain Sot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We want to welcome you in today's program here. This beautiful Friday. It's 8:06 Eastern Standard Time. Very shortly, the analyst is going to be here to welcome all of our viewers and listeners across the globe. If this is your first time, we say you are wholeheartedly welcome. Just hit the share button if you can share the program for us. To invite someone, that will be Honest Silat. Good evening, Catherine Amos, Cos Check the Maya, Tarov Maya, there in Des Moines, Iowa. Good evening to welcome Augustine, Baron, Wright, Bonchi, Victor Morgan, to my own dear sister here, Sister Richard. Good evening to welcome. And all of our great people, the legendary Sissy Goyot, good evening to welcome to this editions of LPR-TV Live with the Analysts. As usual, we want to be discussing international issues. Lot is unfolding. So every day there's some sort of a get a G's. Every day, they get a G's. Every day there's a G's in the town. So we are here this evening to have these national conversations with the sole purpose of us finding a solution to the many problems that are facing the country. I'm not sure why you're not getting the link, but I send that. Fatima Tasheri, good evening. Thank you so much. Oh, what a committed persons on this network. Always here, just right on time. Yeah, we have, there are many of folks of Fatimata that we have here. So we really, really appreciate all of your time, your commitment, the civility that is maintained on this network, the interactions. Sometimes you bust our bubbles also. That's also good, you know. Yeah, you don't let auto just get away here. So Flo, I'm sending it again for the second time. I mean, you should have it. You should receive it. Check it out. We want to thank you so much. Yes, and on says right here, I want to be doing all of the talking here from the ocean state of Rhode Island. She's based there in Providence. So drawn into the politics of Liberia, and that's quite interesting. Mr. Mohammed Dariman, thank you so much for being here. Pelit, Eric Talu, Juti Jalaru, Soso Kriyomasema Famudendo, all the Seku Dollar. Thank you so much. We want to welcome our viewers. This house seems to be a crowded house here this evening because you know we're all unfolding in the country and all what we are hearing. So in the interest of fairness, we want to make sure and have voices here to have this issue here, and I want to be discussing a wide range of issues here. Today is Friday, Vendredi, right? Is that Friday? Yeah. Thank you so much. I want to welcome all of you to your commitment from Mr. Livingstone, Dedet Hinen Francis Page just hitting the giant. Okay, welcome to the show. I'm Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We're going to get this ball rolling right here, right now, with a lot of developing news. The analysts are going to be here, and other major radio show hosts. They are going to be here. We're going to be having this conversation here, right here, this evening. Please do not, nobody should get in their feelings. Watching from Philadelphia. Oh, okay, Mohammed, are you based in Philly? Good to know. Solomon Morba, thank you. To Brood Zo, thank you so much. Johnson Bangolo, thank you so much. You're based in, so no feelings here, including ourselves. We'll try to control our emotion because we here too. We get our own problem, we get a lot going on too. By the time they call our people who support, and everybody get in there, they feeding, they want to defend their own alligator. Okay, let's get a ball rolling here, and we will be having a conversation. The wrath of Uncle Saint unleashed on Major Jefferson Kojie. How do we get to this point here? We're going to be having all of these conversations and other news making headlines right in the nation capital and across with the analysts shortly to assemble here to have this conversation. So welcome to the show. I'm Alfonso Zienso. Okay. Good evening. This is one of the sounds that introduces the program right here on the Diaspora Informative News Outlet, Liberia Public Radio. What the heck am I doing with the Department of Treasury behind me here this evening? Okay, very shortly you will get to know. Oh boy, Uncle Sam. We want to welcome all our viewers and thank you so much. for joining us here. We're going to be having a conversation here with the help or with the hope of keeping the news fair, balanced, and proportionate. And let me just say this here. For few, except those who don't know, the media or the press is not a resistant group. That's not our job, not a resistant group. We are just here to tell the story, perhaps that you know, you do not know, to have a conversation, what we hear, what we see, and just report it. It's not so it's quite different from the resistant group. So people, when you're resisting something, that's a different thing. But the media, the press, but they have different group of folks now. So depending whose voice you're going to be learning yourself, ears you're going to be getting, that's quite different. But I just want to say strictly upfront, we are not a resistant group. We are just here to tell the narrative, to explain what we hear, what we see, and report. We can add, we can subtract, unless if you are doing something. Oh, Patrick Kennedy, it's too soon to start. Yeah, like bro, people, CDC go live. Email as well. Oh God. Patrick, I beg you about it Friday. I want it too soon to start laughing here before. But anyway, the views of the people will always express it. Thank you so much, all of you guys, for joining us. If this is the first time, we say you are wholeheartedly welcome. This is the Diaspora Informative News outlet, Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. I'm right here based in the Ocean State of Rhode Island. Somebody called me, oh, the state, the vice president elect at Roger Williams, this and that. Like, well, everybody get their radio stations. Everybody can give their news headlines. So that other G's not reach me here. That I don't know. So I'm not going to talk about things that I don't know because I want to entice people. And that's the problem that we have. The self-interpretations of news stations without manager, without editors, nothing. The reporters just on wheel. Anything they get, they take the rule. I don't think that's what we want to be doing. That is just an injustice to the country because of this whole politics business. So it's just not. It's just not fair. Okay, so very shortly, the analyst is going to be here, and we will open the phone lines as well. We expect civility as usual on this network. However, we do not sanction voices. You have the right to speak. But sometimes when you speak, and there you're speaking there, if you go beyond the threshold, oh, then sometimes you just land on the rough soil. You know, everybody get a bad day, right? So then sometimes we can fire back. But we don't need to do that. We are also liable, answerable to things that we say. We want to welcome you. Thank you so much. Subscribe. We are also on the YouTube. You can follow this channel as well. Our channel is on YouTube. You can follow on LinkedIn. There's an official website, www.Liberia Public Radio to Works website. You can also go there where you want to see news, international news. You're going to be reading. We are working on the plan very shortly. The audio version simultaneously will also be on the official website. So we are creating alternatives here and there to make sure that we do what we're supposed to do to meet the demands of what is happening. A lot needs to be done. Okay, joining me here is my man, D Float. Yeah, he's going to be visiting here this evening as well. Amos George is here. The house is going to be in full, so we're going to have a conversation here. Oh, see, too much here, too much is going on. This news, as a matter of fact, it came early this morning, early dawn, but people were trying to verify, don't want to just rush and go say something because it came from a higher order. Oh, okay. And interestingly, more, according to what we are hearing, more and some sort of surprises, a surprise decision most likely will be taken. Welcome to the show, and let's tighten our seatbelt as we are about to discuss Liberia. Don't get your emotion. Don't blame me. What we're going to be saying, what the analyst is going to be saying, they know what they are saying. And you can challenge our saying, what we're going to be saying. That is okay. Let me bring in Dan here for us to have the conversation. So legendary Amos George is already here from Atlanta, Georgia. Joining this forum, man, D Flow, the man is based in Minneapolis, Minnesota, is visiting with us here this evening. We got a time like this now, you got to tap into everybody. Let me bring in Amos George is a senior analyst of the Liberia Public Radio based in Atlanta, Georgia. I see George smiling here. Maybe he gets some more news coming. Let me bring in the man D4 is in Minnesota, Minneapolis, is the host and CEO of the Debaters. Well, Destiny Debaters and LPR have been around for quite a very long time. And first, the first 2 or 3 major network, that time said there was no live feed. Okay, Pat George, good evening, welcome.
Good evening, Mr. So, and good evening, Difu.
Okay.
Good evening to you, Amos, brother Amos. How you doing?
Great.
D-Floor, good evening. How are you?
I'm good, doing well. I found so, and thanks for keeping it up. More than 10 years, you stay doing this for your country.
10 years, 11 years. It's not easy. Sometimes you want to get out of 8, but when you get out of 8, then a lot of people, a lot of things are going to be missing. So the good thing, we are not in it because of a specific reason. We are in it for the good of the country.
Yes.
Most of the people are going to be they will disappear because either they are candidates or people of their choice, they were defeated. So when they're gone, then they go on compulsory leave, medical leave.
Yes.
Yeah, we go on some sort of endless leave. They go on. But here we intend not to do it because we have scholars, we have people here who can put things into check. Man, this program here tonight is going to be Halaki Creomancy. Let's go to Minneapolis. The scholar on this network now giving support to Ambassador to Joseph Newman Boyka, formerly Tiawanse Gonglo's chief, one of the strategies or some sort of planner behind the scene. Weah is here. Analyst of the Liberia Public Radio LPR. What?
But guess what? You got 2 people from one town that grew up in one town, Zulu town, on the platform tonight.
Let's share the phone. Sister, why are you laughing like that? I saw Pat George. This is unusual.
No, Pat George only laughing at different laughing. Don't put me in trouble. Pat George laughing. I can never confirm when you are too fussy. Deep Flow must be laughing because we grew up in the same town.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, his mother's house was right behind my grandmother's house. So
Yes.
we played soccer together. We grew up as kids in Slow. So that's why you're laughing.
Yes, that's correct. You got that right.
So sister, let me ask.
He's changing the entire story
Because,
now.
just my first time saying meeting Difu on this day. What is it that you people always accuse me of being fussy? What is it that?
Okay, let me ask a question.
You know what? I was saying that case to Judge Judy.
It's just a rhetorical question, right? Before the end of the night, that's a question. Just collect data, and when we close to now, we ask you to tell me your verdict. I don't want to bias it. Just look at the interaction tonight.
So what we're going to do here?
Who will be the 41?
So the year is coming to an end, right?
Yes.
When a year is coming to an end, it comes with resolutions, and some resolutions are resolutions that you can't challenge. So with some of the resolution that we're going to start it tonight. We all mean well to do good for Liberia, and by virtue of the fact people come here for all, we don't have anybody on pay. Full disclosure. Sister, are we paying you anything, or you don't want to get your money?
I scared to collect pay from you before you release my own name on the way the other man released my name. So.
Yeah, so it is the analysts here that support the work of this network and feel good with people. So we intend to be doing it differently because this network is not it represents the broader spectrums, even though they are representatives, analysts here who have their own political ideologies. They are all here. That's the beauty. We do not have a borderline. That's the difference with us. People, why you bring the other man? Why the other man? No, we don't. We all are Liberians, and we must have this civil conversation. However, moving forward, we will maintain and plead that we have an uninterrupted conversation. That is very vital. Sometimes it can be so ridiculous here. Only the children who will be doing this thing here, but some are not put a die there and put it there, stay, they come in, so we decided to leave it there. It came naturally. So people take off their time to come and listen. So they also want to have a takeaway. I don't care how I disagree with Emmons, D-Flow, Sisigoyo. That is okay. But we must allow one person to speak at a time. In this case, I am the presiding judge. Correct, Emmons George? You agree with me?
Who made the judge?
I am the moderator. That's what I'm saying. I am. So
Okay.
No. I'm not talking about the Department of Justice area. I'm not talking. Yeah. So, but basically, folks, it's
you're the presiding officer.
Presiding officer. Basically,
who gave you that authority? Who gave it to you?
Keeping a fair, balanced, and proportionate, a stalwart of CDC is also here. We want to get their versions of what is happening within the inner cycle, because there are a lot of information we are getting. My own friends and brothers near the capital of Washington, D.C., this is where all of these trouble information can be coming from. Kev is the deputy spokesperson of the Congress for Democratic Change. Is here this evening. Let's see how this. Let's see how this decision is being processed. I mean, it is going crazy and not in different chat room. Everybody get an interpretation about it. Gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the show. Happy Friday, TGIF. Today is Friday. Mr. Hassan, good evening. How are you?
Good evening to everybody.
Good
Let me
evening.
make my one force with Kev before the show start. Kev, my man,
that was great.
Send the election in ever.
Say that again. I hear you say that.
You come me here to say congratulations. Send the election in ever. I stay waiting. Me, I'm only power I get me with you.
But man,
No,
congratulations to everybody.
All right, Kev. Yeah.
Kev said you're keeping the brew for 2029. That's why he gets congratulated. He's supposed to congratulate me.
My man, I'm put you in it. I'm put you in it. Kev, please tell me congratulations. We finish passing by that one. Kev, congratulations to whole of Liberia.
Okay, so like I said, it'll be a crowded house. So we gotta keep a fair balance, proportional. If you're talking about thing, don't ask me the other person for 10 minutes, this and that. The finger not equal. So if you want to file in protest, you cash out me $100, then your protest is granted, you go for Tara Collins, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Zo.
Okay.
Good evening to the panel.
All right. So all our viewers and listeners, and we're going to open the line. Like I said, we're going to keep a fair balance, strictly to the point. We're going to keep the conversations intake, one at a time. Even the call your man last name, wait until when the old man say go fight for me, then you go fight. Gentlemen, good evening. Welcome. So it's a rough night here this evening. So I like to start from the rough terrain to see how it looks like. Maybe it's not rough on that end. Kev Hassan, let's go to what you much closer to Washington, D.C., right?
Yeah.
What the Treasury Department is saying? What's going on?
Well, every December 9, they always come out with the Manesky Act, and we heard today one of our strongest men, Mr. Kojie, is being sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury Department. So that's it. So we will look into.
What did they say? What did he do?
Well, they're talking about corruption, human rights, so on. The same old stuff that they talk about every other. It's like a carbon copy. They will take it. If they sanction D-Flow today, they will say D-Flow. They will say the same thing. That's the same thing going around the world. Same old. There's some minor things that we will debate on, and then let's see how it makes sense. But normally it's the same old around the world. There's carbon copy.
Quickly before I pivot, do you agree with them, or is just somebody doing to cause some sort of political mayhem within the cities?
The only way you agree with this sanction, unless you are anti-Kojie, anti the CDC government, or you actually cannot read between the lines. But
Okay.
no sensible person will agree with this sanction, and I will prove it.
Okay, you approve it. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Sister Goyot, let's go to Minneapolis, Minnesota. This is a date. Every day, nothing is guaranteed until you see it or until it happens. Surprising news?
No, not surprising at all. And let me say, the only people that will celebrate this sanction are people who love Liberia, who've decided that our people have suffered for too long for a minute few to steal resources and walk around dressing like Mobutu Sese Seko and acting like Mobutu Sese Seko in Liberia. I do believe that the smoke has been out there for a long time, for a very, very long time. But this is what happened when you take people who have never been class president and empower them without any restriction, and you allow them to flaunt power and try to diminish recognized institutions that are meant to safeguard democracy and justice. So I don't think this is a copy and paste, because I took the time to read it. And to my brother Kev, I read between the lines, and I read between so many lines, and I drew so many lines on here. They all converge. There is non-parallel. They all converge. And to say that this is a copy and paste means that it has not been thoroughly read. I read it. They listed instances. As a matter of fact, one of those instances happened to be the situation that happened right in front of the U.S. embassy to Sisulu. And so to say that this is something that's copy and paste, I think this is the mark. But I would sound a clarion call, because I want to be fair, that this Magnitsky Act being in effect during the first term and the second term of Allen government, there would have been a plethora of other people that would have been indicted and sanctioned, but for the fact that it was not in place. And so this should also be a warning to the incoming Unity Party government to note that the international community will no longer sit aside and watch the cries of the Liberian people and allow a few people to walk around behaving like they own Liberia and everybody else is just a renter.
Okay, let me hold you there. The Liberal Progressive, good evening, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Searle.
Okay,
and thanks to the panelists as well.
Yeah. All right, so the conversation, it seems to be the ceasefire, my red line ceasefire is holding. This woman here, he is one of the violators. I think he's going to be the next one going to be sanctioned on this network, but hopefully not. Let me go to Amos George, and I'm going to come down here. Amos George, the timing. Is this well calculated, or were they just waiting when the president is literally about to walk outdoor and say, this is how we're going to disable the Congress for Democratic Change? Is that a move or what?
No, listen, let's go back a little bit. When the last ambassador was leaving, he made a statement. He said there will be more sanctions, but that will be after the election. That was the ambassador outgoing statement he made the last time. Now, Jefferson Tama Kojie. This is no surprise to many of us. The smoke was already there. This young man, Jefferson Tama Kojie, remember he slapped the deputy police director, a mayor of a city, Sako, slapping, Major Kojie slapping, right on the headquarters of the CDC. And Kojie, look at the words he used against the Minister of Transport Wu at the time. Very inciting and threatening words he used against the minister. Saying, you people, some of you are just privileged to be here, riding on us. If the chairman had not intervened, what got in you? Those are the words Major Kojie. Is that by mistake? No. That young man, remember in Bannersville, that he was going to get his man from behind the line, and people were messages in the hand moving towards those people? Remember when Dallas won, when they were celebrating on the old road, Jefferson Kojie were moving over men? things it didn't happen in a vacuum. So, Mr. Kev, I'm sorry. We can go on to name instances that Jefferson Kojie has been involved.
Okay.
So to say that some already documents, and let me say this, Jefferson Kojie Tama, his name has been associated with every bad thing in Liberia. Why just one young man? Why people hate him so much?
Okay, we are about to find out. Let's leave it there. Let's leave that hanging. Okay, let me come down, go to Minneapolis. D Floor is the host of Destiny Debaters. I also hear, yeah. But you heard Amos George is saying the ambassador said before or after the election, right? After the
After the election, he said I want to be more sanctioned.
After the election. So is that a perfect timing? Is that is somebody negotiated for that? Because most often when something happens, the people pray for a sanction, they want to do this. Was that something that was negotiated for to take place, you think?
No, I want to say thanks for the opportunity, and I agree with both my brother Weah and big brother Amos there, exactly what he said. Look, Kev-san, this is what that got Mr. Weah in trouble. People like you, Kev-san, and others that got Mr. Weah where he is. You talking about copy and paste. Kev-san, for real. You are talking about the supreme leader of the world, the United States. You are referring to a country that gave you a place that you live today for more than 35 years. That's the country you're talking to. Copy and paste. Let me remind you, Kev-san, the American government, the station, the Manisky station, is not what you call a copy and paste. When it comes to this gentleman, Kojie, they gave you timeline, year. They gave you, they pinpointed particular locations, particular events, particular situations. They go by from 2018. Opposition rally that Jefferson Kojie and you, people like Kev-san. 2020, 22, they go all the way down to today's date. Let me remind you, Kev-san, what you people did to Mr. Weah is good for our country that y'all destroy him. When Jefferson Kojie comes out and say to the Liberian people or say to us that we'll make this place ungovernable, that means that you people will be bringing terroristic acts, car bomb, terroristic acts, petrol bombs in the homes of your political adversaries and people like us, people who disagree with Mr. Weah. Those of us who will have to remove you from power are their target. Terroristic acts is what we say we will put an end to it. So I leave it like that. But I agree with Amos and Brother Weah.
Okay. Tarek Collins.
Yes, sir, Mr. So.
What's such a difficult conversation, depending who you talk to, analysts, everybody have their political side, and it's good to make a strong argument. That's the basis of us having this sort of intellectual conversation. Copy and paste. This is what Kev is saying. So I'm wondering, because there are some few images been floating around in the past, I'm not sure, because Uncle Sent usually go in depth. They don't just drop the hammer so easily. Help me out here. This here, is this something that people just manufacture? I'm not sure, but Kev will have the opportunity to talk about that. Are these some sort of copy and paste that is being perceived of this young man who is people claim he is and he's not? And is it this is something you think? Does that have any connection with, like, for example, corruption?
Yeah,
Do you
exactly.
do you agree with me?
Well, I don't actually agree with Kev, and I don't really want us to make this about Kev because I think that will steal the juice from the show. It will allow Kev to be the centerpiece of the discussion. I think that Kev has made his own opinion, and we don't expect him to say anything less than what he said, because obviously you know Kev's position already. So I think the U.S. government is taking a stand to send a caveat to the other guys who are trying to disrupt the democratic process in Liberia. The United States government is very, very strategic. They can see danger coming long before it hits. So in order to cut it, in order to get rid of the snake, you got to cut the head. And I think that is why they decided at this time to specifically go for Jefferson Kojie. Because in recent times, there have been a lot of, provocation and threats on the elections. And the American government have been closely watching the level of death rate. Somebody driving through people, killing them. There is no accountability. Nothing is going on. They're not giving you no information from police headquarters in regards to all these. These are all human rights violations. And for the mayor to come out and be projecting all kind of a sarcastic statement, having some ridiculous press conferences, denying the democratic process after the president have already said. So what it does is that it throws tantrum and weaken the process. And the American people do not like this because it have a tendency of undermining the democratic process in Liberia. And you don't see that people talking about protesting on the inauguration day. All right, and all these people seems to be pundits of the Jefferson Kojie narrative. So I think the U.S. government is trying to play a very smart game here to cut the head of the snake so that the body will not be able to affect anything that is ongoing in the next coming days.
In the next coming days. Let me bring in the Liberal and then Kev going to come in. The Liberal Progressive.
Yes,
yeah, I'm wondering here whether this could be one of the factors among the many for which the United States government have acted. We saw what happened here January 6th. One group of people who were supporters of the former president said, well, the election was stolen. The president did a very unique for something that I've admired and for which I can now say, most likely saying, confident of saying, that's something the international community will keenly watch and see him as maybe that's another type of Jonathan Goodlaw. He conceded with grace, believing in the values of democratic tenets, and he told his partisan, go home, come a nice day, and go about your normal duty. The president's message did not go on a fertile soil. The next day, 2, 3, the Secretary General, who happens to be the third person, took the airwave and claiming that the election more or less was stolen from them. That was re-echoed by the chairman of the Congress for Democratic Change, Molba Molu. In fact, we are being told we shouldn't be surprised. Another ball going to drop very soon. There's an intense conversation here. Maybe careful, I can tell, but I'm sure he's not going to say that here. The decision on whether the president to let Kojie go. Do you think all of these soundbite red meat coming from Major Kojie helps to intensify to allow Uncle Sam to unleash her wrath? His recent exhibit, especially with this whole after the elections, he been going wild.
Thank you, Mr. So. For me, this conversation has 2, 3 implications as far as I'm concerned. But let me do something here. Kojie and his supporter, and I'm just reading from from the State Department stuff. Kojie, Liberia, they said, Kojie and his supporter have been involved in violence in connection with an opposition rally in 2022, student attending memorial services for former Liberian President Amos Sawyer in March 2022, an anti-rape protest in August 2020, a student graduation ceremony in December 2019, and an opposition rally in November 2018. Mr. So, the young people, many of you here are young, and so we're very happy to have that kind of a diverse view among you, and also educated. But I'm very embarrassed for my country. in that we Liberians, we have to wait for the United States government to sanction someone for bad behavior. Why, as we ourselves cannot even point those things out? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. One other thing I want to say on this here, what this have done, the sanction for me don't even have teeth anyway. But what this have done is to tell the other young people who look up to people like Jefferson Kojie and say, this is the only way that you'll be prevalent in Liberian society, that this is not the way to go. They're telling the young people, if you think you're going to do these kinds of stuff in trying to disturb the democracy, the process of trying to bring good law in this country, if you're going to disturb that, you have another thing coming. That's about the only good thing that come out of this sanction. And let me be ridiculous here. You have Donald Trump running around here talking all kind of tabata, and he's not being sanctioned. You have Donald Trump thinking, say, he won the election, and he has not been sanctioned. You have Donald Trump all over here being charged in all these other state has not been sanctioned. But you're going to say you're going to sanction people in Liberia because of X, Y, and Z, which is good for us. But I'm just saying that's a double standard, and I'm not in support of that. I don't, let me make it clear. I'm not here. I'm not a sedition. I don't support any of those kinds of behavior. But I just want to say, United States that we know, you have to play more than that. You got to give us something better than that.
And we're not giving anybody success Weah to confess ahead of without you being judged. So nobody say you aren't. And this is why we allow people to speak. This actually play into the narrative of Kev Hassan to argument his case here. I see Amos Joy, Sissit, and maybe Terry and D-Flo, everybody freaking out. But we're going to spin it around the room here. Kev, let me just come back here. There was an image that I displayed here. But I happen to understand within the inner world of your party, the president considered in with this tension to realizing there was no way, there was no path to his winning, and he spoke as a standard bearer. Guys, folks, go home and come next day, go about to do your normal duty. The Secretary General came out. It was public that the election was stolen. It was rehacked by the chairman of the party. So I'm wondering here, what is really happening within the inner world of the CDC that we do not know? There seems to be should I say leadership struggle, or who owns the crowd, or who owns the land. And it was reported at some point in time, and like I tried to reach out to Major Kojie himself, but he didn't accept our invitation to appear here. So we were also hearing that there was an attempt to expel the president from the party. So check out here. You being the deputy spokesperson, and we're going to take whatever you say. I would take it, not the other folks. Was such tension, or anytime out of these things after the election, some sort of unusual conversation of such ever took place within the CDC?
And when maybe I should have sent you the picture that because I was in the room and with the president where he made the announcement and where he did the speech to the Liberian people when he called JMB. I was in the room. If you talk,
who else was there?
Like I told you the last time, I'm not going to say, but all the
help us out here. This was put on record. Hold on one second. Please.
Wait. Now, all the top folks were there, so you know them. All the top folks in the government were in that room. So that's what I can say to you. For the Minister of Finance, for the rest of them, everybody was in that room. So if you're talking about the Lester Tenney is it's nobody to.
No, I didn't mention Tenney.
No. You didn't call by his name, but he was talking about expelling president. It's a joke. Nobody giving him credence. It's a joke. So don't put that on a decent platform like this. It's a joke. So, but let's move forward. That picture you post, can you post it again? Because I want you to see.
You were talking about copy and paste.
I want you to, I will come to the copy and paste. I want you to see something. Diflo, you recognize the other guy on the picture with the dark glasses?
I don't know any of them.
Okay.
I know that is that Rebel Jefferson Kojie.
Okay. This guy is Sheikh Sakor, who currently with the rescue team. I want you to look. I want you to look at what in their hands. You actually see a Photoshop of people putting something in. You see this video? There's nothing like that in their hands. Nothing like that. I want you, if Mr. Cho can take it on his computer and zoom it close to him, you will see it. If you can send it to Mr. So, let him zoom it and watch that thing. It's some of the things that went on in that country. But again, Mr. So, I want you to read the first paragraph on that. If you can do me that favor. In the first paragraph on the sentence and on the accusation on Mr. Kojie. So I will compare it, and you see what it put in the same thing in a different way on McGill, in a different style.
Share with how you what's the
he get it in front of him. Mr. To get it in front of him. Mr. To get it in front of him right there. The first paragraph. This one that Kojie is accused of stoking violence. You know, if you look at it, you will see what they talk about, and he disrupting government critics. They say the same thing on McGill. That McGill is using warlord. You remember the saying in this thing that a prisoner that Kojie have to pull out and join the CDC to disrupt the CDC critics. They said the same thing with McGill. Now McGill is using warlord to attack his opposition. It's a different style. So what they do is they play with these things. It's the same thing. They just play with the words, take it and play with it. If you look at the human rights report, I'm going to give you know, smart people. Look at, you guys are smart people. Look at human rights report and go back. What I used to do when I was on Spoon, when those things come, I will go back and years back. You see the same thing. Then I will only not do that. I will go to Ghana. I will go to Sierra Leone. I will go to Guinea, and I look at them. The same words. They play with it. They play with the same words. So when I made that case on the human rights report, so I told them, let's go back to Ellen. You watch the same thing. It's just in a different style. The Americans are very good. They are very good with playing with things and putting things.
Okay, yeah, is the thing there. The government, they have a policy. They don't run on like it's a policy. It doesn't matter which government comes into place. And you might be quite correct in terms of the world, because anything that happens, they are all similar to the extent in all of these African countries how people behave. So those are diplomatic language they are deploying. It's not something that you can easily say, oh, they're going to do this. And
you see, but like me now, I'm not in that kind of mindset like you guys. Maybe you'll see it in diplomatic language, but when you come to me and give me the same language that you play with from the same language from Uganda, I try to see it. I try to see it because things cannot be the same all the time. It gotta be some.
Somebody, this is what I like our LPR audience here. You see what this guy, this person is writing? Toga rated. It's a template. But what they're going to do, depending on my case, something case, they're going to tweet a few words in that suit my situation. So it's the Toga riches.
So it don't based on a thorough investigation. That's what we're saying. It don't based on that. The only thing is Liberia, in that sub-region, Liberia is the only country still believe in that mindset. The Americans are the ultimate. that whatever they say, that's it. If the American come and say to you that, Mr. So, you are this.
So quickly here. Yeah, so quickly here, Kev. We're gonna spin you around the room. I say quick.
That's how it is. So I'm not some of them. It just there. It just kind of
yeah, quickly. Let me be specific before I spin the room here. Do you agree? Do you agree as Kef's son? Do you accept the result of the election?
I do.
You listened to Major Kojie press conference and that of Chairman Moluba Molu, correct?
I listened to it. I don't know what they found, because after we left and all those things, we talk about stuff happening in Nimba.
You're told them to look for something else.
But for me,
so okay, listen. So Kev,
wait, let me finish with this. For me, I spoke with the president, and I said with the president. He said to me, "Let the will of the people be respected," and that's what I'm going to go with.
Do you accepted what the president said?
Yes, sir.
Do you think Jefferson Kojie and Moluba Molu accepted what the president said?
I'm not going to speak for them. But okay. I think we accept and follow what the president said.
Okay, let me do reshare for you within the panelists here. Amos George.
Yeah.
Something is missing here. I'm not sure whether people accept. They feel like is what's the word that I want to use? He's been targeted wrongly. I did not aware some of the things, and I was told the president. I think the president did what he could do, not to let down some of his confidants who started what about the revolutions, this democratic CDC revolutions to the finishing end. He tried to be gracious, but I don't think they followed to reciprocate it. And the president, he said, you know what, enough is enough. So people, I know there are a lot of seditions, or people still saying this is part of a ploy to weaken the CDC. Kev said he accepted, but when they left, probably there were other people start taking. What is happening here?
Mr. So, Kev, thank you to know that you accepted the result, because the last time you are going and play the tape, I pushed you on that question, and you said you people were frustrated, and Jefferson Kojie then were also frustrated.
No. I said I understand their frustration as well as we all frustrated.
You understand? You understand that?
I understand frustration as well as we all frustrated.
Okay,
that's what I said.
Thank you. You understand the frustration, and I asked you, did you agree with what Moluba Molu and Jefferson Kojie said on this platform? The tape there. You did not answer yes, but thank God tonight you admitted that the election was, or you have accepted the results. So let's move forward.
You know, I said tonight I'm not. I said tonight I don't speak for them. But
okay, let's just have a holistic conversation.
Mr. Kev, now, Mr. Kev, hold on. You were speaking. I did not interrupt you.
No, I just want to correct that. So.
No, you can jot it down. Then you come back when it comes to you. Then you correct me.
Okay.
Because you want to disturb my thought, and not going to happen here.
No.
Okay. You said that you never accepted the result at the time. So, but thank God that you accepted. Let me move forward. There was one time rumors more that Jefferson Kojie had brought in arms from Israel, and we saw when he invaded the funeral service of Dr. Sawyer on campus. This major in question. But I will go one step further, because people are thinking that this guy was just doing anything in isolation. And I would say no. President Weah is part of this problem. He appointed Jefferson Kojie as state major, and he has the power to dismiss the guy at will. But all this thing was going on his watch, on Jefferson's watch. President Weah never one day spoke to question the major action. So by extension, he sanctioned this action of the major. And what he was doing to the people, like President Weah sanctioned it. He is the one that appointed this man. And this thing was not happening in a vacuum. Live TV, people are carrying on Facebook, in the newspaper, President Weah failed to dismiss the guy or to even suspend him. That speaks volume of President Weah's leadership also. These are some of them that led to the downfall in this current election. So for someone kept to come here and be doing the salad dressing that they copy and pasting from there, if a genocide is committed in Liberia and a genocide is committed in Sierra Leone, it's the same as genocide. Targeting one group of people or for religious belief, that genocide, it will be described like that. So if people kill people in Freetown because they are demonstrating or protesting, and it happening in Liberia, it will be called the same thing. There's no other language that you would tell me that you want to describe it, Kev. You can tell me now. To tell me the language you want to describe that situation. The difference will be the names and the actors, but it's the same crime. So that excuse, it will not hold water. Okay. Jefferson Kojie did this act, and he must be accounted for. And any other Liberians or young people who think that violence is the way out, this is a clarion call for them. And Jefferson Kojie has set one record in the history of Liberia. Okay. For a man under 40 years, we've been placed on sanction. And let me just close on this. This thing, it will come to President Weah though. These lieutenants that they're collecting, somebody before to say something, and I will say, I'm a team that President Weah was aware of all these things. He shared blame also. Thank you.
He shared blame also. We're going to come down there and going to be climbing the step to some of the others here. Let me bring in Terry here. Terry, we always say on this network here that everybody tries to protect his or her own alligator, you know, because but at the end of the day, they go in the belly of the alligator. Where is the patriotism? I'm wondering, what comes first, individual first, or the political party, or why? When will we come to the time to say, yes, this is my party, yes, this is my favorite politician, but this time of the road, this time of the game, this person kicked the can down the road, and there must be a price to be paid. You will always defend your side. I don't care how it's ugly. He or she, it is it. So where are we leading as a country, as a people?
Well, Mr. So I think we are leading to a level of progress, whether if people decide to support the side they choose to support. In the end, the final analysis, the people will decide that what just happened in these elections. There is no matter of talking that we will do that will change the trajectory of what the people have seen the government, do to them. Jefferson Kojie lifestyle is an open book. Whether Kev decide to hide it, whether Kev decide to put it under the bridge, everybody all over knows what Jefferson Kojie have been doing in Liberia. All right. And like when I came on the network, I told you guys that I'm an independent guy and I'm a free thinker, even though I support Ambassador Boyka. Tomorrow, if Ambassador Boyka leadership decide to go sideways, definitely I'm going to speak exactly on the wrongs, and I'm not going to hide him, because Liberians have a tendency of when they're supporting you, they will see the wrong you do and still support you anyway. And I think that is sycophancy, and I don't think that is a healthy thing for our country. Our country is gradually going, is gradually improving. We are progressing. Look at the elections. Look at what's happening all around Liberia with all days of war going on, all that. The stand-up president we are set for Liberia have placed Liberia on a trajectory that in the next years to come, Liberia will be used as a case study and a guide and an example for the rest of Africa. And I believe Liberia is supposed to be doing that because we are the oldest republic. We are the oldest democratic nation in Africa. That is the reason why we are good at setting record. But to be honest with you, I believe President Weah did not, from all of what these things happening now, I'm beginning to understand that President Weah did not just concede. There was something that made him to concede. Like I was saying today, that what President Weah will hear in his shower when he taking bath, even if Jefferson Kojie stand on Wologisi Mountain, he will not hear it. Because what the president hears is different from what his surrogates and people under him hearing. I think President Weah understood the magnitude of what his government plunged themselves into. And when he was called to the U.S. Secretary of State, informations were disseminated to him that put him on the precipice, all right, to realize that Liberia have not been going the way he thought it was going. So I think that he decided to concede in this election, knowing very well that all these guys, and not only Jefferson Kojie, but many others will come. I believe there are other people that are on that sanction too. That is going to fall.
Praying for your move, please. We do not insult here. This is not the traditions of this network. Please find any other word here to use, because somebody used that and I put them in the way instead of Randy always say in the waiting room to get something. I want you to interact. I want you to say something, but we are not insulting anybody else. Sorry, Terry, go ahead.
Yeah, so there are a lot of people line up for this, and I think President Weah is aware of that. So that is what it is. But something Liberal said that I don't want to agree with him. I think on this network we should be very, very careful with things we say, because it have a tendency of coming back to us, especially when we are in a position of speaking to the nation like the way we are doing. When he talk about this is a double standard, America is doing a double standard, look at Donald Trump. I think the comparison he's trying to make does not correlate with what is happening now on this Magnitsky act that fell upon Liberia.
Okay, well, I'm not going to get in the middle of that. You guys from the same club. So yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the other question bucket up. I'm going to create some sort of a pair button right now with the Liberal, CC, and that of the floor. Any of you can choose to go first.
I have to rebuttal to make, and then I'll answer your question. But I'll go first if it's okay with D-Flow and the Liberal.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Liberal have no choice. I am in charge, CC. If it is okay with me, it is okay. Yeah, I told you, hey, where you go, come bring Liberal here. But honestly speaking here, the three of you, if you were in the role of Archibald Bernard as a counsel to the president, right now, the president of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. George Weah, is in the presidential club. He's far removed from all of his Tabata drama going. If he is to save his political legacy, to avoid distractions with this coming inauguration and all of that, I don't know. I've been told a lot of intensive conversation now to allow to make Jefferson Kojie to go, and Moluba Molu will eventually go. I'm not sure whether these two they will, because they got to keep eye on them. They have made a position clear. They don't accept the view the election was robbed. They are talking about protests, and the government and the international community have the responsibility to do whatever. Do you think should President Weah at this point in time to allow him to go? Would that be the right thing to do to preserve his democratic, whatever, some sort of last minute authority over the party as a stand-up barrier?
Well, that's a good question, but let me push back on a few things, because this is LPR and we try to fact check here. First thing Kev said, and it's not about Kev, but it's about the information out there. Kev said this is stuff that happens every December. Let me remind my brother that the last time McGill and Bill Toro was sanctioned was in August. As a matter of fact, August 15, not December. So there's not a pattern to that. Number two, when we talk about copy and paste, I don't want us to sit on this platform and try to acquiesce to things like this. So what I did was I went ahead and looked at both documents. I put them up because we do research on this platform. There are 234 words in the sanction the press release regarding McGill. 234 words. Out of those 234 words, only seven words talk about him paying warlords. Seven words. The plethora, the vast majority was focused on pay to play. So it cannot be copy and paste, because Jefferson Kojie is 256 words. Out of the 256, the vast majority is talking about violence. Only 25 words out of the 256 is talking about pay to play. So those are not the same. We shouldn't sit down here and stutter our way through muddying stuff. Not on LPR. That is not even a template, and it's not a copy and paste. So let's be fair with the Liberian people. And to my esteemed brother, Mr. Toe, there are 91 felony charges pending against Donald Trump right now. 91.
Right.
So to say he's going scot-free, I think it's a misinformation for the Liberian people. In New York City, the Attorney General has sued him and his private company, and he is on the rope for almost $200+ million. There are several lawsuits that he's lost. Beyond that, in Colorado, in Michigan, in New Hampshire, in Arizona, in Minnesota, there were lawsuits filed to keep Trump off the ballot because of what happened. So there's not an impunity going on. The U.S. government cannot sanction its own citizens, but they can allow the rule of law to play out. That is why former President Trump has 91 felony charges against him. Now, having said that, to your question, look, Jefferson Kojie, my esteemed Uncle Tamba, has the right to protest. In this country, there are still citizens who do not accept the outcome of the last election. They don't send them to jail for that if they didn't go to the U.S. Capitol. Oh, and by the way, just last week, there was a person in Minnesota here that went to the state capitol that got sent to jail for what? Is that what? 90 days for being at the state capitol on January 6th. There are people here who still do not agree that Biden is the president. We don't send him to jail for that. We're done. So Tamakoji has the right, Uncle Tamba has the right to not accept the election results. That is his right. And I don't think President Weah should infringe upon that. My brother Moba Molu has the right to say he doesn't accept the election as long as he's not being violent, as long as he's not violating any laws. Now, I don't think the CDC listens to me for internal politics, but I think at some point in time, the intellectual giant was Lester Tenney. So for my brother Kev, I started to say Lester Tenney is nobody today. Well, I guess, Animal Farm, I guess I started.
Okay. Before,
yes.
we want to preserve the liberal because he just sent me a text that he's doing some research, he's doing the research to come back at UCC. So just to let you know, that's what so I'm giving it. Defro,
yes.
Hear you. Do you agree with Sissy? Or what's your side? What's your voice?
I concur with him because that is why when you have educated people on your platform, they can look at men like Kevin Stan and tell you to go back to school. He has a very limited scale of education. This man does not even know the history of Liberia.
Well, look, D-Flow.
Let's have some discussion. This man is a gentleman who will stand up and say something that he cannot prove. This Kevin Stan, he is one of those people. But how Mr. Weah that brought Mr. Weah here? I don't know when he got to know these people in the CDC. When Liberia Destiny debaters were formed in Minnesota, I took my first trip as the host of Liberia Destiny debaters to go and acquaint myself and introduce myself to politicians as the host of the show that they come to that they didn't know from anywhere. I met Nathaniel McGill sitting right there in the stand of CDC to their headquarters, where every day they go to play, it's a press conference. Nathaniel McGill and Jefferson Kojie. Let me say this to you. When it comes to the murderers and all of the crimes that were committed, these two people are student DNA. They are tied in the same DNA. If you do a forensic check on the murderers of the auditors, every bad thing that they did in Liberia in under the watchful eyes of Mr. Weah, those two people, they are politically DNA tied. Nathaniel McGill is a wicked human being. Nathaniel McGill is a secret.
That was not a question that I asked. That was not a question that I asked.
I come into that. I just want to give you extra thing about Nathaniel McGill. I hosted Nathaniel McGill so many times on Liberia Destiny debaters. I hosted Mr. Weah. I hosted so many citizens. I hosted so many citizens, so many government officials for the past administration of Ellington Scully. Your question about the whole issue about Jefferson Kojie. Look, let me tell you something. Those of us who live in Lofa County or any part of Liberia that did farming, when you want to cut a big tree, you have to brush around the big tree and fell those small trees first. So that when you cut the big trees down, that tree will go with no stopping point. So what you see happening in Liberia, Mr. Weah is going to be in big trouble. Mr. Weah was confronted with evidence. The murderer of the auditors. Mr. Weah was confronted with evidence of drugs that they imported in Liberia under his watchful eyes when he visited the CIA office here in Washington, D.C. Mr. Weah did not conceive because he wanted to conceive. Mr. Weah will beat the CDC. Nobody should fool the CDC people to say, oh, Mr. Weah did a favor. Absolutely nothing. We beat them on their own spot, on their own ground.
Okay, thank you so much. And and like we say here, that's a great thing of this network where people fact check is not just under the moderators, and that's what we do. So we do not want to have a personal attack because we want to preserve our country. We want to know how other people thought process, and people have the right to associate with whatever party they believe in, and it is why it is. We can do that, but we can't be too personal and say, oh, why this person not supposed to? Because many of you are not run from party to party. Because I have a lot of you membership card here as well. I am the only person.
I don't have no membership or any political party.
I'm the only one that get clean record here. You have the liberal here who with the half wing of the Liberty Party and the other one, and then with Weah, they don't know him, he not know them. The liberal, let me just bring you in here. There seems to be a cutting edge here, say your own guy that you so dearly admire, Terry. Everybody's walking away from you this evening.
Am I supposed to respond to that?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Because people are walking away.
Okay. But on a serious note, should the president let Jefferson? I have no evidence of auditors, other people killed. The president is in the loop of it. What I do know as the president of the Republic of Liberia, there could have been some other actions in terms of having it.
I'm on the show.
The process going. But let me ask you it, the liberal.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say, what they're doing, Jefferson Kojie's actions of his doing, is within the acquiescence of the president? Is it fair to say that? Or should the president at this point in time is a distraction? I say the president is in the presidential club. Whether people like it or not, there will be no case coming personally to George Weah or any corruption. That one, just forget about it. Then I had an international. With every other thing that he did, every other thing, this election itself is supersedes everything to see it as stability. Look at the history of look at what happened in La Côte d'Ivoire. Alassane Ouattara, he thinks everything. See what happened in Guinea. See what happened recently in Sierra Leone with coup attempt. All because of people rejecting, or presidents rejecting elections result led to potential violence. So I think this one here, in my own whatever they're going to give it. But do you think that he should resign?
Well, Mr. So, thank you very much. I'm not in the business of trying to say what the president should or should not do. So that is strictly up to the president. What I can say is this. Jefferson Kojie most likely have himself to blame for all of these things, because when they came to power, for months, I was on my own show, asking this young man to go back to school. Yes, the interesting thing about school, well, there are two, you can stay in Liberia and get a master's degree and what have you, but what does it mean? What does it mean? Jefferson Kojie, my point was, after they came to power, I thought perhaps he would have done what American did, say, I want to go back to school. If Jefferson had asked and got the support of the Liberian government to be sent to a reputable school and have a serious, good education, Jefferson Kojie would not have behaved the way he behaved. But when Jefferson Kojie stayed and they give, that's my opinion, Instead, they gave him the position of mayorship. He believed within himself that he has arrived, forgetting to know that the politics of Liberia is way ahead of him. And furthermore, if you're not educated, as I've always argued, if you are not to a certain level, you won't be able to face your peers. And Jefferson Kojie, in fact, I would be ridiculous to say that perhaps this sanction has saved the political career of Jefferson Kojie. In that, if Jefferson Kojie, with this sanction, and take himself out of the political arena of Liberia, of political arena of Liberia, and decided, okay, I will use this opportunity and go to school. And in this sanction that is used on Jefferson Kojie, there is a room. They tell you how you can remove yourself, things you need to do to remove yourself from the sanction list. And Jefferson Kojie is very young, so he can apply those activities that were listed on this sanction, how you can remove yourself. And those I think Jefferson Kojie can work toward and be able to remove himself from the sanction list. By that time, I believe he would have gotten to a place where he would be able to speak with authority and be able to engage his peers, to be able to make some serious sense, and not what is happening right now. So for me, Mr. So, I think it's just very sad, just very sad. And I think we Liberian, anybody who love Liberia would not be glad that Jefferson Kojie is sanctioned, will be sad, because Jefferson Kojie is a son of Liberia, and Jefferson Kojie is one of those who has been engaging wrongly or whatever you want to call it, but he's involved into Liberian politics, and he's young. So to suffer this time from this type of massive defeat is something that saddened me as well, Mr.
Yeah, from all indication, I've seen the emotion before I go to Kev. I've seen the emotion. You want to cry?
Not really. Not really, but I'm very sad, because if Jefferson Kojie had people who would tell him, educate yourself, as a person who is passionate about Liberian politics.
But let me, can I interrupt you, Mr. Toe?
No, hold on one
Jefferson
second.
got a degree from University of Liberia, the highest honor.
I just told you education. I just told you master degree in education and things like that. I don't want to put those down. So please, let us don't touch those things. So go ahead, Mr. So.
Okay, so Kev, let me just bring you in here. That is being said. What is going on with AINT? What is currently, as far as you concerned? Can you bring up to speed what is happening now? I'm wondering, and the panelists can also speak on that. I don't know whether there's a statute of limitations, or at the end of the day, when the president-elect is seated, whether they will ask for revisions of all of these things and to see whether there was a potential crime, because it's being committed as well in Liberia, and they might want to look inside. Do you think Major Kojie is going to step down as the Secretary General of CDC, considering all of these things here? Kato, I'll send a link to you. You got a link, Kanye, because sometimes flipping between the audio, it can be terrible. Go ahead.
At this moment, it happened today. So we let the dust settle down. And, as the government and on her way out. So there's a lot of things will be, out there. So it's not like the government still will be empowered. The government on her way out. So at this moment, things will take place. But let me say this. Folks, I listen to my brother, Mr. Weah, which is one of the most intelligent guy that I know. When you look at the Magnitsky Act, I know you're talking about words and how many 250 days. sound fancy, and people out there. One thing about Liberian people, when you give them that kind of fancy way, yes, they got it. But it boiled down to the same thing. They just play around with those things. They accuse Kojie of bribery. They accuse McGill of bribery. They accuse McGill of violence. They accuse Kojie of violence. They accuse this. The same thing. But the notion of which people think that because they sanctioned Kojie, Liberia heading to the right place. You have a man who they sanctioned for the worst human rights abuse. We get a proximity to government than any other thing. We never had in our country.
Who are you referring to, Keith?
Under Mr. Prince Johnson, and under Madam Ellen. Prince Johnson supported Madam Ellen. He never had proximity. Prince Johnson supported George Weah. Never had proximity to the mansion. But this is first time you will have since post-war, and since the war ended, and we have a new day to see a warlord with this close to the presidency, meaning that his party that he formed is his second in command. But in January, then you're telling me it's a new day? A man who you see, when I'm flowing like that, we start.
No, but when you're flowing, we are under obligation here too. When certain things are said, we are under obligation to kind of break it down to our audience. When you say proximity, are you saying like he never visited a mansion or he never had a dinner with the president and all of that? Is that?
When I talk
Senator Weah, let me say not Senator Weah. Senator Johnson never had a dinner or never visited a mansion.
Senator Johnson, matter of fact, he's on record complaining that they stop him from going to the mansion. He has said complain that. But let me say this: his party, it's his second in command in Liberia. Potentially will be the head of our country.
How?
Potentially. So if Liberian people thinking and feeling that we're heading the right direction, if the right direction is the warlord, who party is the second command, is the right direction we're heading, then I don't know. The only thing I know is that Liberia, the twisted mindset that is just growing in Liberia, sometimes when I lay down on my bed, I think, because Liberia is the only country, especially between Liberia and Sierra Leone, that a warlord will accuse a sitting president and call him rebel, that he killed people, and this man is on record internationally as a killer.
Okay.
And people say, "Oh, that's true." So what? Let me end with this. Let me end it before you come with a question. So, folks thinking that sanctioning Kojie we're heading at the right direction baffles me. I said, wow, is something wrong? Is something wrong with Liberians? Is something wrong? Because I cannot sell that to the Ghanaians, to the Sierra Leoneans. I cannot sell that because Kojie was like 1-2 years old when the war started. I cannot sell those kind of things. But only
before I go to quickly before I go to Wilton Kelter here and come back to everybody freaking out right now. You say potentially you're going to put somebody.
Can we make it a point to get Wilton to be coming on the platform?
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, you need to something. We're going to work on that. You need to something here because that's right. At least everybody interface. Okay, you say somebody potentially to be what? Is that vice president-elect potentially to be what?
Jeremiah is right in the driving seat to be president.
President of what?
Of Liberia. If you have a leader, an aging leader, which is let's go by his age now. He almost 80 years old. Will be 80 years old. He gets 6 more years. If we look at
so naturally, if you even get a 50-year-old president, and for whatever reasons, accidental or some sort of a supernatural thing, when anything happens, who becomes the president?
You're making my case. The vice president.
No, I'm just asking you because you attach conditions. So if you're telling me, says different person.
I'm telling you, even if Jeremy was 50 years old, anything happened to him, that Jeremiah will be president. I'm telling you now, the second in command that potentially can be president, just in case anything happened to the president, is a party of a notorious killer.
Okay.
That's how close into the presidency.
All right. Keto, let me hear you.
They're Liberia celebrating. That's a twisted mindset.
I hope that question is going to cycle to all of us. I have to respond.
Yeah. Let me go to.
By the way, it's the first time. Let me say, it's the first time in history.
Okay, let me hold you there. First time.
You have a warlord who close to
man.
Never happened. Guys, hold on 1 second. Careful on. Walter, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you got to try to work on the something system because sometimes. Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you. So today I feel a little bit disappointed in the Treasury Department decisions to sanction or designate Major Kojie. But it's not surprising to me because I don't think the Treasury Department did due diligence in her whatever so-called investigation of Jefferson Kojie to put him on sanction. I think the Treasury Department was being fooled by opposition, by talking point groups in America, by lobbyists close to Washington. I think they were fooled by a mastermind called Jerome Verder and Chris Smith and Alan White and all these people that but succeeded in designating this a mayor. And I posted today on my page, it's on some of my own products. He said, quote, you understand? And I said it, and he's like, why? Opposition got control over the Americans and whatever. But this is the thing.
Do you believe that? Opposition?
I believe it.
The opposition in Liberia got control over the government of America? USA government?
They got control over some lobbyists that has influence amongst some higher ups in the American government that come up with these decisions that they have absolutely no knowledge about. Take for example, when you read the Treasury Department communication in that statement that they put out there, right? One of them talking about the graduation of a certain student, Jefferson Kojie interrupted or did something. It was this guy Martin Collins. The Jefferson Kojie really attacked Martin Collins and then Martin Collins run around Liberia. Everybody know the story. It was set up just how Henry Costa left Liberia once upon a time and said the government after. It will also staged the same way for Martin Collins to make this government look really bad. And yes.
Are you saying the action of the USA government is in isolation? They didn't get nothing. They just get out some money December 9, just dump this, right?
I'm just telling you, all of what they put in their stuff, that maybe I can only wrap my head on make the recent statement made by Jefferson Kojie when President Weah conceded and said the election was free and fair and President Obama won election in July, and he said the election was stolen and defended, whatever. I saw those statements as counterproductive because the president had already conceded and said the election was fair. But other than that, all of the other accusations were bogus against Jefferson Kojie. You and I know it for a fact. You and I know it for a fact. But this is the thing I always tell my brother today is Jefferson Kojie. When the time switch on the other person, we should be the same people to come here and talk the way we are talking.
All right.
It's kind of
Let me know
Can I just lay on this?
Yeah, 30 seconds.
We talk about election violence or post-election violence. Yeke Koluba should be decimated. Because Yeke Koluba was the one who was openly on every day on international wire telling the people that he will go to the bush, he will kill this person, he will bring the person to and he's taking a word for it. It would have been something dangerous.
All right.
He should have been on the designated. Unfortunately, Yeke Koluba was.
I want to change.
Sonny,
I want to go back to the guys, so we'll change our last phase.
God is America appreciating warlords and targeting innocent people.
All right. Okay. Maybe it's the liberal or Sese or D-Flow or Terry will answer that. Sese, you want to answer that question?
Yeah, I can answer that. I can answer that question.
All right.
So let me.
Terry, okay. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, let's go ahead quickly.
Let me do what I do best. Let me teach a little bit, Mr. Su, if you allow me, please, because that's what I got a license to do. Let me teach a little bit. All of those seditions out there that are saying that Kojie was targeted wrongly, write this down. OFAC, OFAC dot reconciliation at treasury.gov. OFAC dot reconciliation at treasury.gov. That is the email address you can write to get your name removed. There is also an address, Office of Foreign Asset Control, Office of the Director, U.S. Department of Treasury, 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest in Washington, D.C., 202220. That's the address. Write to it and get your name off. I'm sure Kevin have access to that. And we'll post that on our website so they can know where to go to try to get a name off. Now, having said that, my brother Kev, again, I don't want this to be about you, and it's not about you. It's about just clearing things in space. When we read the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, which sadly, they don't teach civics anymore in Liberia. There's nothing that says because I belong to a political party, therefore, the former leader of that political party now has access to power. Let's look at people when Prince Johnson had access to power. When he traveled to Nigeria with the president, George Weah, to go and worship at a church.
Bishop Joshua, prophet.
That's access to power. When they've rolled together to go and campaign in Iba County, that's access to power. When the CDC rebutted Prince Johnson and said, yes, we gave you people that are in the government because you supported us, that's access to power. But beyond that, it was during George Weah's administration that Prince Johnson was designated to be chairman of the Defense Committee in the Senate. Very powerful. The U.S. government had to push against that. That is more access to power than you can get right now. Okay? And when we talk about, if we're trying to draw this parallel about a political party.
Can they give us?
Hold on now. And you are talking.
Hold on. 1 second. I get one thing.
Moments. There's some crossfire moment.
No. You can do that, but let me finish learning.
They fired we can't even finish it.
No, at least let's get some.
But Kev, you were complaining that when they call you off, you lose your train of thought. But for me, I'm a trained teacher, so I will not lose my train of thought. I know where the lesson starts, and I will continue.
Okay, go
Right?
ahead.
If we try to draw this parallel for 1 minute, let's get on the tangent you wanted to get on and talk about political party and who they were formed by and how they're in a collaboration. Therefore, because MDR has a part as in a collaboration with the Unity Party. When Joseph Boakai died, I have been all saying he was going to die. He hasn't died in a long time. Then Jeremiah could become president. Therefore, Prince doesn't have access to power. How do we not draw that same parallel with the NPP that was funded by Charles Taylor? You can't get any more notorious than Charles Taylor. That was in a collaboration with the CDC. That has a vice president. Were you also not mindful that the same thing could happen and therefore a warlord have access to power? This is sad. Let's read the Liberian Constitution. Let's go back to civics, right? But look, if you were sit here and accuse the Liberian people that they are celebrating a warlord and that Prince Johnson is a criminal, but you are still in power, and you have not persecuted this person. That is a dereliction of duty. That is an absconding of your responsibility. And I think you should leave power right away, not even wait for January. If you are going to accuse somebody of a crime that you cannot prosecute.
All right. So, in the interest of fairness, we're going to give everybody 1 minute, 1 minute 30 seconds most to make your final argument, and I'm going to transition to something else before we pack our bagage this evening here. The Liberal.
Yes. Are you there?
Yeah. So we want to hear everybody's last 1 minute on this whole Jefferson Kojie, and before I switch gear to something else here before we pack our load for this evening.
So you want me to go?
1 minute. Stop watch here. So boom. Okay, stop.
I am listen. I determine your watch there is a dead watch. I determine
starting to. I've been very quiet tonight. Something to. I've been very quiet tonight, Mr. So continue something to, please.
He's already been barricaded.
Okay, thank you. Well, my 1 minute that I want to bring out is it's not about Jefferson Kojie. Here on LeBron Public Radio, we try to make sure that we do things differently than many other platforms. We try our best. And also, LeBron Public Radio, under Mr. So Wash, has refused to accept political party or individual political person, high-ranking person to be involved in terms of try to support the platform and what have you. We do everything here by ourselves because we want to make sure that we stay independent as a platform. But some of us individually, we're not independent. So I want to say that in that vein, Mr. So and the LPR has established another, gone back to our root. We have now on Liberia Public Radio website, a radio station, internet radio station that is now connected to, once again to the Liberia Public Radio website, news website, print website, where we now are connected. And basically we're going to be doing a lot more than just reporting music. And when this program starting next week, when this program is on, whatever program that is on is going to be connected to that platform. And the reason I'm bringing this up, Samson told tomorrow night, I will be the best DJ of all time. And I will ask all of you to listen to the music that I'm going to provide. And I also want to ask those of you that be LPR family member on a serious note, please give me music, send music that you would like to listen to, and then we will be part of it. Mr. So, you have a wonderful show tonight. You try to contain me, but you think you got successful because I'm quiet. I'm only quiet because I want to be quiet. I will deal with you come next week. And all of you, Mr. Sissy Goya, come here and throw me under the bus. Terry here throwing, you're able me, you ain't able me, but I'll let you go for tonight, Mr. So. That's my 1 minute.
He catch one thing so when now hold, then he grab the other. He was so down. Yeah, Lemon Joy, let's hear you quickly.
Let me say this. Samson 2. Donald Trump was brought into Georgia and was taken by the sheriff, and the guy had more shot in Georgia. So don't say the U.S. government playing those into Liberia. Now, Samson told the Liberian people must be happy. Why they should be sad? If you are sad for your son, as you always call him, that's okay. But don't say that Liberian people should be sad. Everything that these folks got done, that young man brought it upon himself. So why you think the Liberian should be sad? What else the civil war beating up Mountain Point by him? It must have a funeral. Jack the Sawyer, a political scientist, he interrupted that funeral services. What this young man is depending on to behave like that in a country that would say that you say it's not a banana republic? Why does your man is behaving like that? And when they sanction him, then you say, oh, the entire country must sit down and start crying for him. Why? You can roll your mat or call him to come sit down by you so you can cry. Okay? That have to treat their son. So let me just say this. Kev, let's start making moral equivalent. Today, Prince Johnson now is not in your corner. He's the worst warlord in Liberia. But when he was dining with George Weah, he was the godfather of Nemakanda at that time. So what you see here, nobody, some of us don't support Prince Johnson's action. We have some of us continue to be an advocate that those who committed crimes in Liberia must be accounted for. They should be responsible. So they wolf you crying, it will not hold water against our Kev. We're not going to buy into that story. If you think Prince Johnson was very close to power or he next to power, the Liberian people made a decision. And we have to support them.
Okay.
At the appropriate time, those we think that committed crime will be accounted for.
All right. Thank you so much. Terry, let me bring in Terry. Terry been quiet a little bit, and I defloat, and then I get a last button to push here before we can go. So we're going to make it proportional here. All sides going to be touched. Terry, let's hear you.
Yeah, so the reason why I don't really want to do an on-cap statement is because I agree that CDC got to look for some kind of small rope to hang on. So let them hang on that late thing there and be hoping that, oh yeah, the puppy will die and blah blah blah. So obviously we know that we've been hearing our dry door story ever since. All right, but most human rights violence are similar, Kev. That is why you see you're reading about a similar, the violence of Nathaniel McGay, the violence of what his name, Jefferson Kojie, and all these guys are similar because human rights violence, most of them are similar. And the Magnitsky Act on the human rights violence cover a certain kind of violence. And once these certain kind of violence, once these are guys that have been sanctioned falls under these violence, they will be highlighted for sanctions. So like what my senior brother Stacey did for us, he made it very plain and simple. If they want to vindicate themselves, they can advocate. They can advocate to be vindicated. That's why you see, if you read in a sanction, they will say directly or indirectly. So that means most of what is being written is alleged. It's not something that is not something that is law and gospel. These are alleged allegations that you can fight based upon testimonies from people that were victimized by, these violence or these violences from various locations, So I think Jefferson Kojie and the likes of all these guys, Nathaniel McGee and all of that, can challenge these allegations. And they should. I think they should. Because it's not healthy for them. It's not printing a good image outside for Liberia as well. Especially under the George Weah-led government. It distances our country from international people. It distance our country from investors. It sends a bad signal about us in the outside world. So Ambassador Boyka now has to come in now to fight to bring back the Liberian image to the standard wherein we can attract investors. That is the reason why these kind of discussions is very important. It's not really about the sanctions. It's about the image of Liberia in the outside world. So I think we need to look at all these things and be critical about it when it comes to these things. I think we need to be more patriotic than we are partisan.
Okay. Who haven't spoken? D-Float?
Yes,
D-Float, use your minute before I get one thing here before.
All of the
I still get my 1 minute too, right?
Yeah. After Float, I come to
almost most of what I'm supposed to say here, because when you go in a cycle with almost about number of people here, 7 people on a platform, maybe most of the things we have some similarity. Let's be very real with Kev Hassan and the rest of the people in the CDC. The case about Prince Johnson was settled by the voters. It was settled on November 14th. You said Prince Johnson will be vice president. The people said we'll take Prince Johnson. He said Joseph Boakai will die. They said we'll take their man to make him president. What there for you guys to argue about? We beat you to your own game because you people are not politically savage. You people don't know politics. You guys are kids. You guys came to power with no experience in leadership. When you come to power, you don't behave like an opposition. An opposition behavior is different from a ruling party. Every day, breaking news, Sakamoto press conference. Every day, Sakamoto. Let me tell you something. Jefferson Kojie, George Weah. It's too late for Mr. Weah. Mr. Weah, who has saved himself on November 8th, 2020, when the Liberian people told him to reshuffle his government after we beat Mr. Weah massively, coast to coast, in a senatorial election. No president has ever kept the team together when you lost such an election like that. Mr. Weah came just as a juvenile, and he left the seat as a juvenile. That's all we have to say to you. You guys go and wait for 2029. We are here. We are the same people that educated the people to remove people from power. So the case about Jefferson is a replica of Chucky Taylor. Jefferson Kojie terrorized the Liberian people for 6 years. This thing about you guys bringing football rebels to town, people like the guy who was running around in Douala, killing people, calling himself. You're not even a policeman. You went to Douala and killed somebody because he's a Southeasterner. You remember that story? Somebody, you remember that thing? That guy from the Southeastern, I don't know whatever his name is, General Power. That's how can you be in a leadership and see somebody who is not? The man murdered somebody in Douala. You put the absolutely nothing. Auditors got murdered for speaking, doing their job. And you put it under the rug. Let me tell all of you, Kevasan and your like, there is a new sheriff in town, and that sheriff is Joseph Yuma Boakai. He will have the best team that Liberia has to offer.
Thank you so much. Let's go to Kev Hassan. All of the kitchen sink and the rare meat here this evening, but you know, you're used to this network now. So, you know, the good thing I like about it, nothing moves in so much. I mean, it takes his time to respond to it. But Kev, let's hear that. But before you come now, is Dr. Weah, did he use himself as a sacrificial lamb for CDC? Because I think there were some things that he could have done to help his administration. Is it a friendship or what really happened? I don't understand. Like the point deflow, I don't care what happens. Sometimes you reach here for, sometimes you tweet people around, but nothing like that happened. All of these things, people hold you responsible. But let's hear your side of the story, your meaning.
Well, we will come to that, but you know, I just want to spy a little bit with the mathematician here. He talked about Prince Johnson going to Nigeria with the president, going to church. That's not close to power. Going to church. Samuka was in church with the president the other day. So now that you know what close to power. Prince Johnson picked the vice president. He announced it. He went to JMB. They had a shake hand on that. The same thing he was sanctioned for, pay to play. He went there and he announced it to the public. He said he's the first person that announced that Jeremiah Kun will be the vice president. And Jeremiah Kun was not in the race. We were looking at the Yomli Kanga and others, you know. Then Prince Johnson went to JMB. All of a sudden, he announced it. Kun. That's what we call power, close to power. If you can pick the vice president for a political party, you are powerful. That's what called power. I'm not sure if anybody would deny that Prince Johnson was not the first person that announced Jeremiah Kun. That's what we call power. Never happened in the history of Liberia. A warlord who murdered a president picked the vice president, and that was it. And
I think I got 1 million. I do my 1 minute, so I kept saying my 1 minute.
That's you know, I'm sure you're not going to deny that Prince Johnson is not the one. You're not going to deny it. It's a fact. Yeah, it's there. And look, my brother Terry made it simple. He said it's not carving stone. It's an allegation. It's that you can, and that's true. That's true. So it's not something that is factual. So Terry made it very simple for you guys. So all that claiming out what Terry telling D-Flow, telling Mr. Weah and Mr. George, telling you guys that you're just talking plenty. It's just an allegation, nothing to it. Thank you.
No, I disagree. I disagree with Terry.
You're twisting my
and to make Terry a statement, you know, true. For example, some of the allegations that folks say, like under corruption, Kojie just came to power. He built. Look at the house that he live in. It's so powerful. You know whom is that? Can anybody here guess who home Kojie is living in? Who built that?
The one is it 18th Street?
The one he living in right now. Can anybody guess the one he living in?
19th Street? Is it 19th Street?
Yeah, we're not going to.
Kev sister second thing.
That Jeremiah Kun home, the powerful home they're talking about that Kojie built, the most powerful home. When you see that home, you're renting from Jeremiah Kun.
Okay.
So what I got to do with it?
Okay, we got
That's one of the allegations of corruption that Kojie came in power, Mr. Two.
Thank you so much for that.
He built a massive home, but he rented from Jeremiah Kun. Jeremiah Kun home.
Well, you gotta be
Let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. I come push gear for let's just say, and Kev made his point.
Let me make my 1 minute to Kev. You know, there's this thing in logic class. It's an if-then statement, right? And you and I know I will not sit on this platform for you to convolute anything here. If Prince Johnson was the first to announce that Jeremiah Kun would be vice president, then Prince Johnson picked Jeremiah Kun. Ergo, Prince Johnson is powerful. The flaw was in the if. Because if Prince Johnson was in the room when the decision was made, and Prince Johnson come out and announce it, that just shows us that he doesn't keep secret. He didn't follow the process to wait for somebody to announce it. That doesn't necessarily tell us that he picked the vice president. That's a flawed logic.
Oh man,
so that is a simple if then. That's a simple if.
Mr. Weah, don't do that.
No, but that is simple logic. And the other piece, right? The other piece. Look, you try to muddy what Collins said, but I'll let Terry deal with that on his own. We are saying, Terry is saying this is an allegation. And even in the US, even the felony charges against Trump are allegations.
Right.
But remember, two of the most powerful people that were sanctioned begged the CDC government to bring forth charges and give them opportunities to clear their names. Nathaniel McGill was all on Al Jazeera and everywhere. What's his name? The Solicitor General was everywhere asking and begging you seditions. You to give them a chance, bring them to court so they could clear their names. You didn't do it. That now you got.
Well, let me announce on this platform. Let me announce on this platform. Let me make this announcement on this platform. The American government. Announced it. The American government.
Careful, you have 1 minute. You lose everything. But
the Liberal government. Any
Kev,
announce it.
Kev,
let's conclude
Kev,
us.
You will forgive me if I say I can't take your information with credibility because you were some of the people that ran around with data that give us the pie chart that show you were winning and didn't win. So you will forgive me if I don't take your information with credibility. Because as a mathematician, I follow patterns. And your patterns are showing me that you always don't give credible information. So you will forgive me if I don't take that. The Republic of Liberia has a spokesperson. And the Republic of Liberia has a justice ministry until and unless the justice ministry can come and tell us that the U.S. government has not given them anything. Kev, my brother, what you have just told me, I just gossip, and I can't delve in that. Thank you
so much. Keto, go ahead quickly before I shift gear, before Parker here. Keto, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right.
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
So thank you. Like I said, we are young people, and we want to see our country move forward. I think when we come to these political discussions, I mean, looking back where we came from, our country was misinformed. Our people were misinformed. Our people were treated wrongly and led to our civil war. I can see this thing coming right back again. It's like putting old wine in new bottle. The lies, the deception. Uncle Sam play her role with some Liberian politicians to destroy our nation. It's coming right back. Unity is coming in different forms. And we have a very dangerous society now, the young people, that they cannot understand nothing but lies. They gravitate to lies. And I think if we are serious, as people in the diaspora have been exposed to modern life, modern democracy, we must point these things out instead of backing them. Because today is Jefferson Kojie, tomorrow it will be somebody from our camp. What can we say about that? With the Prince Johnson thing, I don't have nothing to do with to say about these people as far as concerned, all the people that committed crime in our country. That's why I never put my head on the line to say, yeah, Prince Johnson supported President Weah. As far as concerned, these are assets of evil for our country. All of them need to be packed in a ship and put in the middle of the ocean, let ship sink and the key destroyed. That's why I want for these people to happen to the people. But we got to be very honest. When we see targeted sanctions on young people in our country for talking, just for talking, and I question why freedom of speech is important in this nation, in this identical country called America, where people can just talk because they're supposed to talk. When you don't talk and the government try to shut you down in Liberia, the first thing your report card on the MCC will say press freedom, they censoring people's voices in Liberia, they're stepping on the rights of people. When you talk, the people say you go also because you're trying to disrupt the peace of Liberia. These are what this sanction is about on Jefferson Kojie. He never acted dishonorably, he didn't kill anybody, he was just talking. And today, the government and the Treasury Department say, shut your mouth, Jefferson Kojie, you talk too much.
Thank you so much.
Sanction you. Things that they told us to practice in our democracy, freedom of speech. When was the last time protest became an illegal tool in our democracy? When was the last time? It's so unfortunate. And we sit here and spill it out there because it is Jefferson Kojie who was one of the able lieutenants of President Weah. Tomorrow it will be our time. I'm talking
Thank
about
you so much. Okay.
Mr. So, information, please.
Wow.
I just cannot sit here without making this point. This platform is proud to be one platform where we discuss issues and watch our language. Our brother came up here and called a sitting president a juvenile, unacceptable as a liberal. We cannot do that. That's his view. He's entitled to
who
it.
say?
Also, Mr. So you see when you do
asking
that,
who say?
Defro.
I was saying to him, but just bring it by.
So I'm just saying, I am not comfortable. I am not comfortable. They're interrupting me, and you're not saying anything. I'm just giving you a little warning. But I am not comfortable with those kinds of language. Let us not.
If you please, I'm a bit comfortable and take that back. Please take that. Okay, I'm a bit comfortable.
Thank you for bringing that. This is LPR. Okay, folks, this is the Liberal Public Radio. We're going to go in the last segment here very briefly. We are already over the
Mr. So,
time
you
here.
didn't allow me to rebut against what Kev tried to do because, you know, you didn't allow me to make my comeback.
Which you said, well, Kev tried to
Kev, he tried to twist my statement. And I wanted to rebut to that, and you kept cleverly let it slide. But anyway, let's go ahead.
No, go ahead. You know, we don't leave people. We don't leave no one behind.
Yeah,
if you do it in the meaning, that would be great.
Yeah, what I was saying, I'm not saying that Jefferson Kojie did not do what he did. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that Jefferson Kojie should have a time where he will go and clarify himself. I'm not saying the way you try to twist my statement, like to say I'm saying that Jefferson Kojie, you know, he has been accused of something that he's not doing. No. These allegations that were leveraged against Jefferson Kojie was authentic because there were evidences and proof. If you read the sanction,
you know, if it's a Weah twist you, man.
I come in out when you read the sanctions. When you read the sanctions here, there were these allegations.
You are honest. Okay. You are on point.
I am still
you are
being
independent.
Honest. Listen now.
Let
listen.
me put you in a color. No, man, but don't do that.
What are you trying to? What are you trying to make me? You're trying to put me in a position
Harry, you always know Sese is one of the instigators in the play. When you see the one around you. Okay, all right, but that's it. Okay, guys, the much awaited news that was hoping to hear, and you know, we keep it proportional here on this network. I was interested in the many other Liberians with respect because I was concerned. At the time, the sitting president out of the country, the president-elect out of the country, the vice president and other senior officials were out of the country, and everything just went quiet. And I was wondering, we borders with other countries, some of those countries going through war. In the event when there was a cross-border to end of our bordering point, who could have been the commander-in-chief to give some sort of a gift guardian? But today we now get to know the incoming administration Secretary General hosted a major news conference, but something went missing, and I'm in search of that answer. Let's listen to this, and we're going to have a conversation before we pack up and go.
Is that, you know, today is Friday. And consistent with the communication from the National Elections Commission, we are pleased to inform you that the Unity Party officially wrote the National Elections Commission, informing the commission that the president-elect has traveled to the United States of America. So on the basis of that, it will be impossible for His Excellency to receive the certificate in person. So we held an in-person discussion with the officials of the National Elections Commission. And so there's an initial agreement that the certification ceremony for the president-elect of the Republic of Liberia and vice president-elect will be placed on hold until the return of the president-elect, Ambassador Joseph Jima Boakar. In that discussion, we concluded that on the return of the president-elect, the Unity Party Alliance will work alongside with the Elections Commission to fix a new date, and you, the public, will be duly informed about when the issuance of certificate will take place. Also, it is important to let you know that His Excellency
Okay, putting the country on hold. The president-elect travels to the United States. For what? That conference was inconclusive. We saw the release from the Secretary General of the Unity Party. What has he come for? It's not fair for the Liberian people to know. He's now a complete asset. He's begun to get intelligence on the state of affairs of the country. That's part of the work of the transition. They are having a conversation on what can we be informed? How long? Until they come back. When? when there is a preparation, we are aware there's the transitional thing and the inaugurations, diplomats, foreign governments, and other people are going to be attending. Now he's my president. And I don't want something to start brushing through your career. I want to know, when will the president elect? Because the press conference is meant to give us an explicit, to give us at least an insight of the president visit and when the president going to go back. Is there any violation here? Both parties, all of the participating parties, were the certification of all of the candidates to be satisfied. So why are we having this conversation here? It's not a matter of showing hand. I'm asking a simple question. Maybe you know when he's going to be going back. I just do not know. So let me start with Amos George. That's something to calm down a little bit. Amos George, is it a fair ask to say you're going to want to come back to set a new date? It's not a personal something. It's the Republic of Liberia we are talking about. Is it not fair? I'm not sure why the journalist didn't push when is he coming back. What is it? Is it a visit? Is it a personal visit? Is it an official visit? Who is he visiting? That is more or less something to, this is not boxing ring to start rolling your sleeve here. We haven't. When you now you want kind to come fight because I'm asking. This is what you guys do. You guys get the side. It's kind of different when they ask some question. They become a little bit. But let me just come to Amos and I'll come to you. Do you get a precise idea so when the president elect will be returning to Liberia?
Let me take you back. I think the press release they gave the last one on Honorable Baka was leaving this. I think you're going to be back on the 10th of this month, if I'm not mistaken. But you asked the question. There was no law broken. Let me clear that. There's no law broken. Okay? Mm-hmm. They said that he was traveling to the States to meet partisans and other meet government and meet business people and things.
Who are the business? The press conference didn't outline anybody.
Mr. So, that was a press release. There was no press conference.
So I'm asking you, get the release. Maybe what you have is different. I'm asking, who is he meeting? Who are those meeting?
Mr. So, once it's the business people, the secretary or official of the party can ask that question. But there was nobody. They gave that press release, and that was it. Okay. The issue, you want to know what? There was no law broken. And they said it. They did inform the election commission that he was going to be traveling, and I saw the mention they did that he would be returning.
The what?
So I saw the mention they did that he would be returning.
No. That's not I'm talking about the interview. I didn't hear no date. He said, we will inform you when he's returning.
What? But they wrote the election commission. The election commission had not commented to say there was nothing or no date was mentioned. They decided to say they would issue certificate on this particular time. Okay, if he's not in the country, when he returned, they will issue the certificate.
When? The question is when. That's what I'm asking.
Mr. So, the when should be if he's not there for inauguration.
But that's one question.
No. Mr. So, let me honest. You know, I was not supposed to do so, okay? But he won the election, and we got to be fair and balanced. If he's not there for inauguration, that's a different thing. He has a transitional team on the ground now working. So the question should be, if he's not there for inauguration, then of course we can raise some concern. But he traveled. He's not the president. He's not sworn in yet. As President Weah, who is conducting the affairs of the country. So a President Weah is not in the country. You should be one who is in charge. Not Honorable Boakai.
Is he not getting briefing?
He's getting briefing, but he's not in charge.
What is the essence of the
24th, after 1 minute after 12 of that inauguration?
What is the essence? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go around here.
Now let me just come. Let me just say this. So those who praying that he might die, that is business, because nobody would die.
I didn't talk about death.
No, I just need something because I've been following Facebook. Those are the comments that people been making about him. Okay. Many of the people on Facebook, they are wishing for the man to die. And I just want to say to them, it's absolutely wrong. It just shows how simple some of you people are. Because if that was your father or brother, you will not be wishing for him to die.
Thank you, Pato.
Because it's politics. You people are wishing this man death. We tired of anything. If it is time for the man to go, it's a rendezvous, he will go. But please, let's keep it real. I always say we should talk about the subject, the policy of the man. So Joseph Boakai, the Unity Party, have not committed any crime. Joseph Boakai can stay in the country January 23rd to come back. After that date, the negotiation is not there, then that's a different issue.
All right, that's a management of crisis, which we hope not to, but we all have the right to ask that question. I read a press statement. The initial one and the one that came out here. Okay, let's spin around the room. The Liberal Progressive, I know you're whacking your hair left and right. I'm not sure what that is. My question is not legitimate. He's not just only your president, he is the president of the Republic of Liberia. And so, when someone is the president-elect who already have access to information sharing about the conduct of the office, the man not there, the man who's supposed to be sitting there not there, I have the right to ask a question. I don't think there was a crime committed in asking that question.
I said you didn't have the right.
I understand. So whatever gossip goes on Facebook, that's their own. You never heard me talking about his medical, unless when I have the opportunity to speak with an official, then I can ask that question. But let me just bring you in, Liberal. Go ahead.
First of all, Mr. So, it's none of your business. You and LPR, that ain't your business. How long the man stay, where he at, where he go, that ain't your business. The second thing is, you all sat down here, President Weah left to go watch his son play football, and nothing happened in our country, no walking. Now you're coming, first of all, you're in support us. You are not there to support us. The election is over. We whoop everybody. You are an independent, you're still an independent. We appreciate that, but this is not something that we want to. What law the OMEC committed?
That's a simple question.
You ask a question, I'm asking. You don't interrupt. I don't want to start tonight. I want to stay on a good note. So the point here, the old man came before he came. He said he coming to say hi to all his supporters. He coming to say hi to all the Liberian diaspora. And he's saying that. Then he said, well, what kind of law? The man got respect. He respected the law. So he went. The people wrote the National Election Commission to say, our father will not come by right now. You're gonna wait, you're gonna get us small time. When the man comes, we all can sit down as Liberian and then we plan it, so no confusion. And he said, the man, what kind of law you broke? Where law? He bring no law, leave the man law. They're not LPR business.
No, the statute does not say that. Not every business.
When you're making a point, your ridiculous point here, I didn't say anything. You're one of those here, you were never in support of us. Now you're coming here now because we're finished winning the election, and you're coming now with your 1% to come on our side. We don't need you right now. Stay on your side.
I'm a Liberian. I said it before. Whoever won the election, I will support them. I'm not like you, who jumping here and there.
Oh God, this is unbelievable. Okay, the idea he just translated to no bamboo for a child. We're keeping here. Hey, you heard the tree he calling crying the other day, Kaifo, you can't lean on him. By the time you go low, he throw you in the water. So that okay. Let me bring in Terry.
Yeah.
Let's hear you.
So I don't want to.
What did you gather from the press conference? You gather all of the information.
I think there is some level of weakness on the part of Unity Party, and I don't like that. To be honest with you, with the aspect of the VSB, in as much as there is no law that made them to be in the wrong, it does not look good that the president-elect is out of the country, then the VSB is also out of the country. The VSB elect, in as much as you have not been given your certificate yet, you have not been certificated. You have been elected. So if the president is leaving, VSB should not have left. And I think one of the reasons why they did not receive that certificate today was because the VSB just came today. He was out of the country. I think it's carelessness. That is very careless. the president-elect, I know that according to the interview today, there were several things that the guy said, that he said, you know, that they were not aware that the certificate was going to be given on the 8th, which I also think that was a deception. Opinion, I could be wrong. I think that Amos Weah, what his name, the guy who was there today, I forgot his name, the United Party Secretary General, Amos Weah, he looked almost like Samuel Weah. He don't be like Samuel Weah. I'm just saying. But I think that's a deception. You can't tell me that you don't know. You can't tell me that you don't know. The United Party do not know with the procedure of the NEC that certificates were to be given. You can't tell the public that, oh, we didn't know the paper left before the information was given to us. I think that is carelessness. I could be wrong. So, in my opinion, they are not, they didn't set that whole thing right. And that press or conference was, the guy was looking like he was not even ready. So I think that the president-elect leaving the country is not bad, it's okay, but I think the VSB shouldn't have left. He should have waited. Maybe when the president-elect gets back, then he can say, okay, I will leave, especially when the certificate had not yet been given. So, you know, so even if they wanted to postpone it until JMB returned to give the certificate, which is good because he said that they all were together, they coordinated, and NEC is coordinating with them, which is a good thing. He said there is no law that provides that, blah, blah, blah. There are some things that law don't have to provide. But from public opinion, it shows some level of carelessness. Another thing, again, I also noticed was that they generally ask him, what is the specifics that the president-elect went for in the U.S., all right? And he did not give the specifics, which, of course, I think that is okay. But he said that he will update. But at least he should have given one of two major reasons, which, you know, for which the president-elect came to the U.S. I think also that was lame. That could be my view, and people could fight me for it, but that is what I think.
So, Terry, was it a legitimate question that I asked?
It was legitimate because you are a media institution. You are a media institution. It is your responsibility to bring us the news and bring us the information. It is also your responsibility to discuss, because your discussion can help inform the president-elect on some of the mistakes that he makes.
Don't give any credit, please.
So you're looking for someone to validate your question? So,
of course.
No. It's not it isn't. All of y'all can throw tantrum, and your tantrum will not move. No, I said here when we start. Listen, I said I'm getting his view. It's not you say your own word. Did I say anything? No. Media. I am not a resistant group. I just here to provide a narrative. Let me go to Sese. Sese Goya, the liberal is already to us. Let's hear your side. Am I going wrong here?
I think your foundation made it to go wrong. Specifically, when you ask the question, laying the premise about the vice president out of the country, and the president-elect is out of the country, and laid the premise about wars happening around us and what will happen if there's a war going on. That threw the whole thing off the window for me in legitimacy. The president is out of the country, and there's only one president at a time. There's only one commanding general of the armed forces of the Republic of Liberia as we speak, and that's Dr. George Weah. Right. If the question that whether Joseph Boakai is receiving briefing, well, yeah, but so is George Weah, who is out of the country. So whatever security method they're using to brief George Weah out of the country, they can still use that. And I don't think we're still trying to imagine that we are still back where everybody go in the hut and we put a fire on and they kind of get briefing and go away. So I want to imagine that the British security state has improved to the extent that they can give briefing to people wherever they are. So for me, it was that foundation for me that made this question for me. I'll throw it out the window because that foundation poisoned what would have been an otherwise general, a really question we all learn from. Now, I keep saying over and over, and I keep saying this since the election time. One of the flaws that I found with the ANC and the CPP and the Unity Party and with CDC was that their information team was always lacking, was always reactionary, was never forward thinking. Because I talked about that about the meeting with Stanton, and I said they should have been proactive about what that was going to be. And it's the same thing about this. So for me, it's the optics. But there's nothing wrong with Josiah Yuma Boakai traveling. And as a matter of fact, if they're telling us that there was an arrangement between the party and the election about having this thing, I don't know why there is no there. Actually, there is no there, in my opinion.
Okay. That's the beauty of the LPR. Views and opinions are always expressed here. D-Flow, I'm sure you don't have a 2A. Don't create an artificial 2A here. You've been in this business here for quite a long while, and I know you are punctual when it comes to these asking all of these questions. Now, my point here, Ambassador Joseph Newman Boakai is the asset of the Republic of Liberia. Not CDC, not Unity Party, not the green zone. And he made that crystal clear. No green, no blue, no yellow. So, I'm an open-minded guy like yourself, even though for now you have a side, which is good. Sometimes there can be a divided role. I saw what happened in Guinea-Bissau the other day. All of a sudden, there was some mutiny soldiers, a group of people, presidential guard and the army. Things happen. We are in a volatile world, and I'm concerned. And I made a crystal clear as well. The president is out of the country. Vice president is out of the country, and as Terry. With a good independent mind who have the
wow.
The other night he was not independent. The other night he was not independent.
What are you freak out? Jerry, who have the country at heart, even though you have made a crystal clear here, he's not a unity partisan, but he wants Ambassador Joseph Newman Boakai to succeed. And he is equally concerned like myself. In the event there was insecurity, who will be there to give the command? Vice President going to Ghana, Vice President-elect going to Ghana, Samson told Sister Nyomdi Kanga Lawrence, all of them, because they're going to have a conference, want to be president of the pro-tem. Come on, you can have that. Say, look, you are a good friend to me. Don't do this here to me. D-Flow, let me bring you in here.
How are the vice president
so let me just
don't matter.
Let me say something.
I stay in my early 50s.
Go ahead, D-Flow. I could be making mistake. I heard Brother Amos say that the woman left the country for 3 days. 10 days. Actually, the president-elect is out of the country for 3 weeks. That is what I know. 3 weeks. That is what they put out there from the press team, and was put out by the press, the former press secretary to the president, George Saad. Let me take you back to something. When we talk, before I answer your question about Vice President, why he's out of the country, the president, why he's out of the country, I want to go back to take you back to the issue about these section citizens. And I hope and pray that President-elect Joseph Yuma Boakai will bring these people to court, to book. When we talk about CDC were requesting for, I will answer your question. I'm just not trying to take us back a little bit, because this is a moment I have to do this now. When you talk about CDC requested for evidence, do you expect CDC to go prosecute CDC? It's never possible that we're going to put this thing under the rug. So it was good that the United States did not give you guys a piece of shit, because there's no way Nathaniel McGill, who I believe that Nathaniel McGill knows exactly what happened to those auditors, along with Jefferson Kojie, will be carried to court and be found guilty in the eyes of George Weah as president of Liberia. But let me leave that to go. And I hope President-elect Joseph Yuma Boakai will not allow these things to go free. We are talking about the lives of ordinary people who are just doing their job. That's all they were doing. They did not do anything wrong. Now to answer your question about the president-elect. You know, There's nothing stated in our constitution that when you win an election, on this day you have to be certificated. If you are not certificated on this day, then it is invalid or it is not guaranteed. It is not that set this thing up. It is not anything in the constitution. It is not anything. It's just Julieta Lassana coming out and say on the 8th of this month, we will certificate you people.
Without the consent, you think it was a unilateral decision by the commission?
It was not
without the consent?
Yes.
Without the consent of the parties?
Absolutely, no. It was not the consent. Absolutely not. It was David Lassana chose that she decided that day. She decided that today's date, she was going to certificate them, but nothing spoiled here. No law was broken. Joseph Yima Boakai is not president yet of Liberia. He's president-elect. When you talk about the safety of the people, it stays in the hands of Mr. Weah and Joe Howard Taylor.
Yes.
It is not Joseph Yima Boakai and Jeremiah Kuhn. No law, nothing has been spoiled here. Ambassador Boakai came here. I don't know how many of us on the show have ever participated in an election. I was in Liberia 2017 for 7 months. Elections are not easy to go through. There are places that we travel 2017. Some of those places that we reach there 4 in the morning, we did not sleep. We had to carry on a program and the next day leave to the next program. It is not easy. I remember we went to Riverside. We arrived in Riverside 3:45 in the morning. The place we went to is called Kojie. Small town, no hotel, no place for you to sleep. You got to stay outside. So when you talk about Joseph Yima Boakai, president-elect, after all the moving from town to town, when they say the old man will not have the energy to campaign, God protected this old man and gave him energy. So after an election, like I did 2017, I had to leave Monrovia to go to Gompa City in Nimba County for a couple of days, a young man like me. So Ambassador Boakai is here to rest himself. Ambassador Boakai is here to hang out with some family members. Ambassador Boakai is here for other activities that we will show you at the end of the day. So nothing broken here. Ambassador Boakai is completely healthy. I'm not here to tell you what Ambassador Boakai did a few days ago, but as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, the old man is 100% ready to work for the Liberian people.
Okay, I have never questioned the health. I never asked for a health certificate. So let's come from the other side of the wall. Kev Hassan, what his name said. Kelto, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, let's hear you.
So, to be honest with you, brother, so I think it's very important. Like I said from the previous conversation, as young people, we want our country to change in a positive direction. We should put away all the sentiment, the connection we have with political institutions.
You gotta speak a little bit louder.
And look at the in a bigger context.
When the man lost his voice.
So when
the election, so don't make it hard for them.
He didn't do anything, and it's in his purview, his right to stay out of the country, do not be certificated and all that. That's not a big problem for me. Here's the problem. I think we talk about integrity, we talk about transparency on Joseph Yima Boakai through all his messaging. Now, if something is going on wrong, it is important that the Liberian people know. You just prove something here. Mr. Costa came up and said something prior to the election about Joseph Boakai.
Who? Mr. Who?
Now you leave Henry Costa.
He said something.
Let him make a point. So go ahead.
I'm a born liar.
Now you leave room. Now you leave room for public to draw their own opinion and their conclusion. Whether the woman here visiting family or visiting or meeting with business people, or here taking treatment. These are the things that the public, and they are pounding their head around.
Where is he taking treatment?
The woman said after
This
the 2017 election, he suffered a very dangerous heart problem because of the tension. Is it the same thing that happening now to him that he's in America spending over 3 weeks there? Because when I listened to the SG, he said on the 20th of this month, we'll be meeting some Liberian people. So he came last week, and he's going to be here up to the 20th. So it means he will be here more than the 20th. What is he here for? And he come back and get a certificate. What kind of preparation are they making? Is he here to relax until the inauguration and all that? Let it be open to Liberian people. They talk about transparency. That's all we talk about. I don't care if he's not Waka sick and he got one leg in the grave or one leg outside. That's not my point. I can determine when he will die. I don't pray for people to die. But he is a leader waiting, meaning he is the president-elect. I think Liberian people should know what is unfolding. He's just not a private citizen anymore. So we need to what is unfolding.
So let's ask him about the 40-day, 40 measure where we pray in the desert. Yeah, let me tell you,
so do you think you're not getting the information you're supposed to get?
Your A1 president will go for 45 days.
Some information from the public because now people will start speculating. When people speculate, these things will have different implications.
All right, thank you so much.
I think for Joseph Boakai, who said he's a transparent man and he full of integrity, the people around him try to pin it to be a different person. And that's what my concern is all about.
Okay, Kev Hassan. Have you ever had the opportunity to ask him similar question, or it doesn't matter?
Similar question about his trip, GMB trip.
I'm only concerned the the sitting president is out, even though I think he's back now. The vice president-elect, the president-elect. I'm talking about the security of the country. So I'm not sure why people in the African, every night they go look. Okay, our analyst Mally Jones is calling here as well. But go ahead, I'll bring in.
Let me say this. I agree with folks. I don't think any law were broken. I think he out. Only one president at a time. The president's still there. But what we are talking, some of us, our arguments, but by the way, I think Terry, you've been on point tonight. Don't let Mr. Weah sway you. Don't let he sway you from there. Mr. Weah is agreeing with you, but in a different style, and he used the word uptick. So he agreed with you, Terry, in a different style. You see, some of the argument that we are making here is that it's okay for Mr. President-elect JMB to travel. It is prerogative. What he coming for is fine, but he left. They had a statement saying that the vice president will head the transitional team, and the vice president also left the country. So this is,
but he left somebody in charge though.
But your president is heading your transition team, and he left the country.
Wait now,
guys. Let's do it one at a time.
I listen to you guys. When the president left and the country for the G8 and he going to ECOWAS, he left Kenya, and Kenya is in the country, right? And JMB also left Jeremiah Kuhn. He's supposed to be in the country, but Jeremiah Kuhn left the country.
Okay, who did he leave there?
So when Jeremiah Kuhn left, there was no explanation or statement made to the entire country or to Unity Party or any Unity Party person can come on that who is in charge.
Oh, let me tell you, he left.
Can Can I just have my time? That you
but hey, I question. Let me answer the question again, Kevin.
Okay, sorry, Kev.
So the argument is that we the one thing the Unity Party I can give them this election. They're very, very smart during the campaign. They ran a very smart campaign. The reason is because they know the mindset of the Liberian people. They can explain anything. For example, one of the greatest things they did, we agree. They know the mindset. They know the capability of how the people can, the 1.28% process it. So half of the country didn't buy it, half bought it. The middle, which is the 20,000 plus 1.28%, went with them. So they were so smart enough to convince those people, and they're playing that game. Mr. Weah and other intelligent people, they understand that if the president-elect is leaving and he left the vice president in charge, the vice president should stay and run that. But what happened? He left. They know that. But because they understand the mindset of the Liberian people, some of them, they're able to convince them. So they're convincing them. So if you see a lot of Liberian people who will watch, a lot of the Unity Party people or people who will watch this show, they will buy that. They will say, oh, no law broken, no this, no that. But it's the uptake. So it's the power. So tomorrow,
direction from me.
So tomorrow, if you get a push, Mr. Weah here, you know what he will tell you? I said the uptick. So he slide that in. Then he play around it.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go to. All right, let's go to Malice Jones.
Those are the kind of things, dog.
So before you go to Malice, I just want to thank you very much and thank the panel as well.
Hold on 1 second.
I reached the time, and I'll say goodnight to all of you.
That would be a gross disrespect. While the program in the making, these are some of the things we are talking. Laws and order must be maintained at all times, whether on air. You can't be having a critical national issue and you're telling us you want to go. We don't know how to go to bed.
Speaker use on a man. That may be decorous. He want to can say something.
Let him say.
I want to laugh on it. Okay, let's hear from the Moja train guy, Amara Jones.
Yes, Mr. Moderator.
Everybody beating on you here tonight. I was the only person that protecting your image for you. Yes, speak. You the last speaker. So after you speak, nobody's speaking.
The people started to open their asking us because they know I was away.
Right.
I want to believe strongly that most of the greatest speakers are beginning to emerge from the high up. And these are the very people I think going to destroy Joseph Boakar's government before it gets seated. However, Liberia is at a critical crossroad right now. The entire world is focusing on Liberia's new leadership to be ushered in soon. You have a critical item agenda, such as transition. Now you have the president-elect taking off. What is our political experience about that? And we are taking it for joke. People are creating a scenario where CDC will turn the Unity Party into a laughing stock. That's sad. This is a transitional period. So many things are going on right now. The president-elect is very crucial and very, very significant, right? So if you took a vacation, I need 1 or 2 days, fine. But according to sources, and you going for 3 weeks, what is that political seriousness? When we are looking up to you, even for a transitional period, we don't see that political seriousness. I mean, this is something that baffles me a whole lot. Now the vice president has also taken leave to go to Ghana. You see, now they are putting a scenario together to make themselves a laughing stock in the hands of the mighty CDC ruling party. And very, very disappointing. Moreover, the election, the chairman of the election commission. The election commission is one of the democratic entities in Liberia. They keep up to inform the president, according to sources, a period for certification. And I learned they abandoned the exercise and decided to go. And people are telling us it's not constitutional. I agree, it's not constitutional. But political experience will tell you that political responsibility is a key factor in running a society that wrapped into systemic problems. So I'm beginning to see now that the president-elect are already started to show what I call a gross disobedience to a democratic institution when he claims to be one of those, according to this hallmark, transparent.
But how long is this guy gonna speak?
We might begin to judge Joseph Walker from the other stages.
Okay. Let's also go ahead and talk about that to help him. Let him learn about that.
For fun. So it is regrettable that the president-elect choose to leave against the will of the certification. I mean, it's disappointing. Where is the president-elect moral compass? Where is it? Where is the political maturity?
What the heck do a moral compass?
Thank you.
That's the point Mr. Mali is making. Great point.
Democratic institution.
Thank you so much. This is how the real progressive can speak.
No, that's not real progressive.
No, he's not a progressive.
He's
not
a
a progressive at all.
He's a
progressive will do research and talk research.
If the progressive speak,
that's our moral compass.
But nothing he's saying is wrong, though.
Oh, there's a lot of things wrong in there, like 98%.
There's a lot of things wrong there, Kev. Whole lot wrong.
It's wrong in your view because you're
the reason why the mayor is not here because you know all his
will challenge him to that. He can't say that.
You see, you're trying to get in your feelings now. You're trying to get in your feelings. This network does not leave anyone behind expressing their views, their opinions. These are legitimate. But let's see, maybe George Weah, is it commensurate with the trip of George Weah in, how you call it, sir? Please, let's watch and see. Let's watch and see.
Damn.
How do you do? What's your team? What's the score? 2-0. Arsenal. At 43 minutes. Wow. Why you call it the station so fast? It was there, I didn't know. Your team winning? Yeah. Of course. 2-0. I didn't know you were Arsenal.
Okay. So, yeah, you can stretch your hand. Look, you see, this is why we have the conference.
What is the purpose?
Hold on 1 second, and I'm going to tell you the purpose. Whether you're going to like it, whether you're going to like it or not, I'm going to tell you the purpose right now. I am concerned with its location. That's my view. Should I bring you on the screen better? I am concerned with his location of the company. That house is on federal surveillance. What sort of conversation? Who is calling my president while he is in that? Well, can you please hold? You guys make your own closing point. The reason there's a reason I'm asking this question. You like to manage crisis, the crisis that you can manage. And that's why you pick your side, want to be your, then you go on the other side. That's why I don't pick no side. But I'm asking the legitimate question to avoid my country. I don't want my president to be called into anything tomorrow. That's who I am. I just feel very uncomfortable being in that facility. He could be in a hotel. He could be with any family person. That house, that young man is being monitored. You know that something too. You can hold your hair, you can plug your eye. I am talking as a patriot of Liberia. Gentlemen, thank you so much. What a great show.
Mr.
So, but we're not going to do our closing.
Mr. So.
Mr. I don't. We're finished closing already. We are not going to ready. We are not going to relegate this program. That's how we.
You just play a video and just won't run away like that. Mr. So do that. You play a video.
Tomorrow I play Jerry. We have on a video when you want to see where he needs where Jerry are on it.
Timothy.
I have Timothy on a video too. We're gonna play that tomorrow. Guys,
but Mr. So quickly, right? Why do you think people go and visit criminals to the prison? Don't people go and visit a criminal to the prison?
Terry, stop that.
People can do that, right?
No, Terry, stop that.
So, if to say,
if you want us to go,
trying to distract you. Mr. So is trying to distract you. He's very good at that. Let us don't fall into that. Because this video has nothing to do with anything we're talking about.
Give me
the question.
Still in a full jacket. The papa is still in a suit. That shows you that the men have not even. When you somebody go, when you living in a house, you can be relaxed. Those people do not look like they relax. They look like to say they met at a certain place because Stanton is still in his coat jacket in his own house. And Ambassador Boca is sitting in a chair with his suit. So when you just show a short clip video and say, okay, Ambassador Boca is living in Stanton house and
let me say this, please. Let me say this, guys. Let me just say, tell a second.
So I can say people sanction people voices. We can do our 1 minute. The liberal, you say you wanted to go to bed, yeah. So you're not talking.
No. You brought me back. I'm ready.
Mr. So has extended this program for another 2 hours of that video.
Right. He did that on purpose.
We're gonna do a 1 minute. Gentlemen, to have a conversation about a sovereign country that's not smart in you. I'm not talking about your house, something to you know that. I'm not talking about what's Terry ate today and Pa George and Stacey Roppy and beer and all of that. The man already he's and we're here yesterday. The man said he was a transitional Bolivar here in the who knows? He's not behind him. Let's hear you.
I mean, well, no, my own. Let me test that video because I know you set a trap with that video, and I'm walking into it because we talked about that video yesterday, and I'm on record. The optics is wrong, and I will continue to back that the optics, but that's what I'm going to say about that. But what I have to say in my closing is that like you talk about Mr. To talk about LPR and the new things we're doing. Mr. So and I was talking it back. I'm just looking for dates. We're going to have a program here that's going to be called Educate Liberia, Navigating Challenges and Building Tomorrow, where we're going to be looking at the multifaceted challenges and opportunities in the Liberian educational system. We are going to be talking about all of the gains that have been made from Ellen to President Weah, and we're going to be looking at the opportunity for growth and making recommendations and hoping that people that make decisions take this seriously, because Article 6 of the Liberian Constitution guarantees a free education for all Liberians. So we've got to make sure that education is not just free, but it's accessible to all of our brothers and sisters in the hinterland, in the rural places. We've got to rethink and reimagine what education looks like. We can't always say the people are not educated and make the wrong votes, and then we don't provide for them the education. So if we're asking people to get themselves out of poverty by their bootstraps, we got to give them the boots and give them the straps and hope they have hands. So watch out for LPR. We're going to be having that program. We're going to be bringing teachers on. We're going to be bringing leaders in Liberia on to talk about the challenges in Liberian education and how we can help to leverage what we know and what we have here to help our country.
Thank you so much. I think what we're going to do, folks, I will need a overwhelming authority for us to have the labor to transition to do some engineering stuff. That's why he good at. This is not his area. He already won the election we need him to start to illustrate the rules, how they can be fixed, and bring in some other professional engineers to help the president soon to be inaugurated. I think that would be a good asset. Correct, Liberal?
I would like to do that, but I'm going to wait until the president select his cabinet, because I don't want to proceed as somebody who's doing these things for a job, which I'm not, which I will not do. But once the cabinet is picked and I know who the public work person is, perhaps then I can try to do that. Maybe it's just a matter of educating and making sure that the young engineers follow these type of procedures, so that Liberia, the road building process, the inspections and the designing process will be followed based on the international standard. But I don't want to rush myself. I'll wait until the good ambassador and the father of the nation select the cabinet ministers, so that we can know how to engage.
Thank you
Do
so
I have
much.
a minute to talk now?
You have a minute. How many minutes?
Hold on.
No.
Just wait 1 second, please.
Yeah, definitely wait a minute. I'm done with him.
Full disclosure, I'm not looking for a job in Liberia. My hustle, I got here. I love my hustle. I'm not leaving it. So let people
say you are qualified to look
This
for
is the
job.
problem that I have with
Stop
you
saying
guys.
those kind of things.
This is the
Just
problem
stop
I have
saying
with
that.
you guys. I'm not looking
You
for
are
a job. I'm not
qualified.
looking,
Like,
you want
you
to work
need
here, but you don't want to work in your
apply.
country, right? This is
Listen,
how I
Like,
get
that's
it.
why you need to apply.
Hold on. Listen, don't be that professor Zabo. You can go ahead.
Who's that?
Why were you confusing, Professor?
I swear.
All right. So, okay, guys. Terry, 1 minute to go.
Yeah, no problem. Let me go, because I know plenty of people. So, Mr.
Don't mind
there is
them
something-
tonight, Terry. Before you talk, don't mind them. The Liberal can hate you. Open Part George can come after you. You are doing a patriotic work. That's how it's supposed to be. You
see
are
what
on the
Mr.
right
So doing
side
to me now?
of this administration.
But anyway, Mr. So let me just get my 1 minute. Anyway, to be honest with you, what's your name? Mr. Mali said something that I want to talk about. He said he always said that Ambassador Boka put himself to a high standard. No, the people put Ambassador Boka to a high standard because of his long-term integrity he earned for himself. Then Ambassador Boka put himself on a high standard. No, he maintained an integrity, impeccable record, that the people gave him that honor. That Ambassador Boka, you deserve to be at this level. But that's why I want to correct. And also, I prefer for Mo Ali to speak most of the time, because I think Amos Weah, from the time that I've been seeing him, watching him speaking, Mr. So, there to something in me does not agree with some things that he can say. And in this life, you claim to be rescued. You claim to be rescuing Liberia. The president-elect, for me, I myself support Ambassador Boka leaving the country to take. Even if they say whatever they want to say, he need that rest, because he's about to go on a very long journey. That he will not be leaving Liberia every now and then to come for that kind of long rest. All right? So he need to come and address all the people, thank all the Liberian people that help him, and rest. For me, I will plead for him to rest. But the aspect of him leaving and his VP leaving is carelessness. You can't claim to be rescued. We already know that, President. We can't handle the job. So you, as the VP now, you're supposed to stay there. Just in case anything go wrong, you are able to come in to help the government in power, because you, the government, coming. Everybody right now is lackadaisical. The entire government is not working. They were already not working efficiently for 6 years. Now, Ambassador Boka has won. They're definitely not going to do anything. 2 months. So you're supposed to be there to cover up. That's where I'm coming from. So in my opinion, that was carelessness. The VSB should have remained on the ground until Ambassador Boka returned. Then he can ask to leave for 2 weeks or 1 week, whatever. But the two of them leaving the country at the same time does not show any good sign for the rescue mission. Thank you very much.
Terry, you're going to be the deputy chief moderator here to me, okay?
Mr. So, Mr. So,
transparency.
Alfonso, yes. So you got some talent, no? That you can mail me?
I'll something to more closer to you.
No, you get. I will pay for it tonight.
I get prescription ibuprofen. I'll send it for you.
No, Samson, I want.
Our post office
I
open.
don't want. Look, let me
Our
say
post
this.
office open 24 hours. We'll go there. Keep $50. Not anything.
Let me say this. You know, let me say this.
You want
Look,
painkiller?
Terry, don't fall in a so trap.
Wow, I can't
I'm
believe
just spinning my mind, Papa.
Joseph Boakai and Jeremiah Kuhn, they got nothing to do with the Liberian government now. The running of that government day to day is in the hands of Dr. George Manuel Weah. Don't mind if I think, oh, something happened in Gambia or this place. No. Even if someone drop a firecracker in Liberia, George Weah, the vice president, Joy Howard Taylor, they the one will be looking up to for direction. Not Ambassador Boakai, nor Jeremiah Kuhn. Until December, January 21, he's sworn off. Let's get that right. The uptake, but he's leaving. Okay, I can see if we can talk about, oh, they're leaving, okay. Leaving to come for visit or whatever. Jeremiah Kuhn went to Ghana, I think he's back in Liberia. So why you want to make it like that? These people have been sworn in and both of them leaving the country. No.
I'm gonna tell you the reason again. Maybe you didn't understand.
Listen. And if I'm not even going to that picture you show because you want.
No, not picture. I'm not talking about. No, that's one that I'm picture.
Let me say this. Honorable Boakai said he was coming for a visit to the States, 3 weeks. And Ken Hassan will help you with this. Oh, but when I come to have a heart surgery to go back in 3 weeks' time, it will not happen. It will not happen. And Ken know it will not happen. Nobody can have heart surgery and 3 weeks time they say they're traveling. It can't happen. So a lot of the kind of CDC speculation.
I agree with you on that one.
CDC kept them flying around here. He talked about Henry Costa from the last time. Let Henry Costa pay your money.
No, he has not paid my 2,500. He still owing me.
Oh, okay. So
I told you complain to her princess. She said she will deal with it.
So I get.
up there. Tell you part today.
D-Floyd said how much?
$2,500 He been owing
Samson told right there. Samson told yeah. That was thing.
Thank you for having shot the radio station. He has not paid me.
I'm trying to re-echo. Samson told me relay the message. Please rescue your son.
He run away.
Deliver gone.
Let me I will bring him by. You go wrong. You want to run away. Come Joy told you listen to you. You can't go. I pour in. I'm going back.
So let me say this.
You want to escape from indictment.
Please, let us give the old man a breathing space. And you all know me here. I know I'm supposed to honor Boakai, but he won the election. The Liberian people decided to support him. We have to get him to support. Where he goes wrong, we can call it. But right now, no. Mali. What this man did that is somewhat immorally wrong. Mali. What does Honorable Boakai do that is morally wrong?
We're sending Mali to Grand Gida. I'm moving to local country.
He did not leave
I will move to local country. He must say switch places.
He did not leave under the cover of darkness. The public was informed of his traveling. The public was informed of his traveling.
Mali Jones.
So the question here is don't be comparing.
So Samson told us to go to Grand Gida. He will be moving to Lofa. He will be moving to Lofa now. He will move to Kalahu now. He will move to Tota.
We should not kind of start telling you kind of petty thing around here.
Okay. All right.
It has nothing to do with it.
All right. Okay, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And D-Flow, please.
Thank you so much.
Let me do please give me $500 for that money. Yeah.
So, George. Samson to Sissy, thank you guys so much. Look, we are here. We are here to do the best thing. And Sissy said, the chain of communication, it is time to hold these people. You hold them before they get there. If you don't hold them when they get there, they will back at you. This statement, what his name said, Amos Weah issue, media LA, and the president, that was just yesterday. He alluded, I was about the president elect travel and came back today. You cannot confuse the people. Y'all who support, y'all gotta do it right. You guys are the one killing our country. The Samson toe type. Tarek says, okay, I can agree with him, but Mr. 1%, he too. So you
can't agree with me. Dr. Nate can't agree with me. Dr. Nate can't agree with me.
You saw the man again.
No, I bet you. I didn't say that. You probably looking for your good night. Don't mind. They're looking for flower between us.
I got my 1 minute, right?
They said the man for small and rest green.
Before go ahead, before we go, guys.
I want to.
All right, Kev, thank you so much. So, look, Kev, anytime, let us know. All what we are doing here is for the country.
But Kev, you have 1 minute to close.
Yeah, I just want to do.
You know, Kevin, 1 minute. Give me 60 seconds. Kevin, 1 minute.
30 seconds because I have to go. Well,
it's always nice having you on the show, man.
Yeah, let me say this. During the bicentennial program, there's a guy named Bashiru. You guys should know Bashiru. Bashiru brought the Peace Square, and shortly after that, he was arrested for the same old crime. He's in jail. The Unity Party made that a big deal because he had a picture with the vice president and all that. We had to defend it because they say he's in jail. He defrauded the system in America. Why the VP? They made that a big deal. But now with my former CEO, they say he's a Liberian. Well, at that time, Bashiru was not a Liberian. They say, oh, he's a criminal. But now that's how smart the Unity Party and the 1.28% buying that. So they've been effective in doing that. They know this mindset of the people. You know, there was for before they're against. That's the kind of mindset they are. But we have to defend Bashiru, the vice president taking picture, and we lost that debate. But now they say my former CEO is a Liberian with similar crime. So let me leave that with you guys. Thank you, guys.
But Kevin, you benefited from the man money though. You were always still getting paid.
The 5-star hotel you're in.
You left Liberia 35 years ago. It was the man
that who took you there
before you went to your country. You are a disgrace to yourself.
Then you are accelerated. You are accelerated before and after.
Okay, guys. Yeah, good night.
Thank you, guys.
Guys, good night. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, guys. Terry, thank you. Joyce, Sissy, thank you so much. Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Mali and everybody. Well, folks, that's how we do it here on LPR. That the Department of Treasury right here. But what we do, is we gotta make the conversation, not just only make it, but speak to the reality. Because the Secretary General gave a convoluted statement with a press statement, and then when you say we haven't spoken with you for a long time, and so when you face the media, it is anticipated that you're going to give some precise information, but it is unfortunate the guys who didn't push. If you are not prepared, do not face the microphone. Because if you are to face international journalists, that would have been an embarrassed thing right there, because they will ask you. And we need to put these things into check. It's not a matter of hate. Of course, he went through a tough time. Take a rest. Before you leave, do not allow people to determine, or because of the apprehension, you're not forthcoming with information, and you allow people to make those sort of just kind of make a guess game for you. That's what happens. You were aware of the date. In fact, prior to the departure of the president-elect, you should say it. The president-elect is taking a break. He will be back so. There are language, there are words that you can deploy, you can use. And people will say, but when you just say, oh, when he come back, we will let you know. He's no longer of your own property again. He is the property of the Republic of Liberia. And I'm talking something that is real, whether you like it or not. He is getting security briefings of the country. He is. What happened the other day, Marabio was on a major conference here and there was an attempted coup. Who was in charge? It was the vice president. I have to stabilize the country before he returns. And so when he left his own deputy, who is the vice president elect, then he leaving there, he getting out of the country, leaving somebody else. And then you have the sitting president, all of them out. So who is steering the affairs of the nation? It is a legitimate question. And all of you people need to start protecting their own alligators. If you like somebody, you want to do everything possible you can for that person to succeed. And part of that is to have these honest conversations, to raise your hand. Yes, chief, this one here, I think we can do it this way. Then everything, yes, sir, yes, sir. That's the same thing that get the president, we are down the hill today. Because people were not honest to him. They professed to be honest, but they were not honest. They lied to him. And he drew into that because he never wanted to, maybe folks, we don't want to come see the early days like the PRC tape and things to start falling apart. It's not a matter of hate. People, we are dealing the wrong way. This is why Ambassador Weah and the Unity Party was overwhelmingly, or they was empowered to do it the right way. So I am not that type. People did it yesterday, we do it today. No, that sort of visual way of doing it happened yesterday, so it should happen today. No. That's not how we're going to fix our country. They need to get on it to stop running. They know that it was wrong. They know it was wrong. The communication he posted out there yesterday and later on to come back today to do it, you can't do that. That's not what you want to do. The government arm, communication arm, it has to be very effective, be very calculative when they are dealing with, because you're not just only talking to the librarian, you are talking to the diplomatic enclave as well. So it's not just only speaking to the librarian. People will be listening, people will be watching, and this is what we want to do. Folks, thank you so much. Have a pleasant evening. And by the grace of God, we're going to be back here in the coming days for more programming. I'm not sure what's happening yet. The system is getting so much. Yeah, the SG statement was clear. Well, I don't know what sort of clarity you're talking about, but that's your view, that's your opinion. There were two statements came out yesterday and today. I'm talking about the first media light, which didn't even carry the party statement, everything. Everything you do, it has to be official. Just start doing it that your own way. That's what get a country, because that's what get CDC to be where they are, because they wanted to do it their own way. Do it the right way. If you're not prepared to face the media, don't say it. You just give us press statement, but it must be effective, must contain the basic information that will provide a clarity. You can't wait on the date of event one day, then you say, oh, we're negotiating with them. That's not what it does. It is no clarity in that. When you come back and then we'll set a new date and come back, he's no longer the asset of the Unity Party. He's the asset of the Republic of Liberia. And that's something we should make clear. Folks, thank you so much. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
I just want to thank you.